than like getting carried out in your own set.
You mean waking up outside of the venue?
I got crushed like an accordion. This guy, our buddy, who I was telling him, you got to stage dive during our set, and he's a security guard. He's this huge dude. He's like, no, I'll fucking kill someone. We're like, no, don't be a pussy, do it. And like he's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And so like our set is like basically done playing our last song, and like having a good time, and then I just wake up outside, and like everyone, like I heard different stories. I heard that because I was on the floor and he stage dove, and so I heard that he just crushed me, just like completely, just pancaked me. And
Super Mario on top of a little. Yeah.
And then I have another friend who said that he looked like he like kneed my head off because like he jumped past me and his knees what got me, and that's not. I almost feel like that is like makes more sense because I felt like
because that would have like.
Yeah, I feel like he would have cracked my neck. I don't know. I just felt like worse shit would have happened if he really did just come down. But yeah, I woke up outside, but I was fine. I was like, did it look cool?
Yeah, at least did we get footage?
Yeah.
What were you guys closing with back then?
Living on a prayer.
Whoa! Just fucking gone.
Yeah, and like people, I guess couldn't. It was packed.
Did the dudes keep playing though?
Yeah, they kept playing.
They finished the song.
Dude, people were still piling up on me, and I was out. I was getting carried out, and my friends were, and like people were still trying to jump on me. So my buddy Brett was telling me, he's like, dude, I had to punch people off
to get off of you.
Yeah, like he's out. He's out.
He's dead.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good show. I was fine after that. That was like one of my last like shows on the floor for a long time. Just because my neck was kind of actually a little fucked up after that. So I remember the next show I played, and like I was like, I can't do this because like anytime I saw someone go up to stage dive, I was like,
PTSD.
Yeah. Like I'm like, I can't look cool like that. Where I'm just like constantly
just like, flinching. Yeah.
Just like I'll just get back on stage.
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very
clear. All right, episode 42.
142.
Episode 142. Shit. Okay.
It's a 142, right?
Yeah, 142.
That doesn't sound right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast, the podcast where we like to normalize checking in on your homies. If you like what we do here, please follow, like, and subscribe. It helps. This is episode 142. I'm Mike. That is also Mike. And we have, I guess we traveled long distance to be here, so we're super stoked to have our boy Jay from Reminitions here today.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome, Christian.
What's nice to meet you.
welcome the Jeremy that we wanted.
Oh man, dude! First off, thank you for driving all this way. I'm stoked to have you guys here. Your guitar player Mike hit us up like, "Oh, I can't make it." We were gonna try and find a way to like video him in, but it was like with our camera set up and everything, it's just too complicated to get it all together. So I told him, I was like, "Dude, let's do an episode with you one-on-one."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So hopefully get him on, but we got you in studio, man. I'm stoked you're here.
Thank you guys. Seriously.
I want to issue an apology to Jesse because Mike and I both made him look stupid. He's like, I think they're like from Fresno. We're like, no, they're not. They're from something. They're like SoCal. He's like, I'm pretty sure they're like from like Fresno area. We're like, I think you're wrong. So stand corrected.
But you guys played down here. Was it Rockefeller's a few years back?
No. Yeah, it was a while ago. I can't remember, to be honest. That sounds familiar, though.
Okay. It was like a spot in
Corona.
Corona, but it was like an outdoor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we saw you guys play there
Mm-hmm.
back then, but I was like trying to put the pieces together. I'm like, I know I've seen this band play.
Yeah.
I can't rember where.
Because it's like up there in like a club clubhouse kind of thingy. Yeah. That place was really cool.
Yeah.
I've definitely just seen people like drive all the way out there. I don't know how close it is to them, but like it just felt like kind of out of the way.
Yeah. And they stopped doing shows over. Well, do they still do shows?
They do inside shows, but
Yeah, I think they kind of what's crazy is the most business they've ever had was probably when all these hardcore shows were going on over there. But the owner was like, the regulars don't like it, apparently. And so it just kind of axed all that. And I think they got in trouble for being an outdoor venue and not having like the
like permits.
Oh
my God.
And they built that stage. They built a proper stage. Probably after you guys played there, they built like a proper stage, and it was so sketchy. Like, you'd be like standing on it, you'd feel it fucking
wobbling.
moving.
Yeah.
But
Don't
I think
stop.
we played at a festival in Sacramento recently, and the stage I think had like, it was 3 pieces, and it was like buckled. They somehow buckled together, but they thought like, let's buckle it from the back and not like the front. And so I'm performing and I have like nowhere to go. I'm just kind of in the middle plaque, and then my bass is on the left one, and then Michael's in the right, but Michael's kind of standing with his legs spread apart on like my plaque and his plaque. And he's playing, and I kind of see his legs like spreading apart, and I'm like performing, and I'm looking, and the stage is literally splitting like underneath him, and so he's like clenching his legs back together to like close it. And but that was a fun one for sure. But no, stages can be tricky.
dude, I want to say it was like when was the tour with Destruction of a Rose?
Like 2011 or 10.
So way back then, it was Creative Void, Destruction of a Rose, and No Bragging Rights kind of all playing shows together. And we played this spot called Red Planet Records. It's gone now. But Creative Void, we had a bunch of thick boys in our band. And I want to say it was like Planes Crash played that show as well. And they were like, hey guys, be careful. The stage is like, there's a hole forming there. And I feel like we took that as a challenge because we just kind of put a giant hole in that stage. And by the time they played, they had to play around it.
Yeah.
Because there was no space to do anything else. Plywood stages.
Dude, doing the splits right now. Could you imagine? Like, that'd be game over.
We were much more limber back then than we are now.
Even back then, if I were to do splits back then, something would be torn.
And Michael's having a lot of his pants ripping lately. He's just been going really ham, like stage wise.
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
sick.
Well, that's not a reminiscence show unless his pants rip.
I like that.
Dude, so speaking of shows, how has this run been so far? Like the first couple shows or first show? Or
It's the first 3 out of 6. It's really good. Honestly, it's kind of like nerve wracking when you're promoting like so much, and you're just like, I don't even know who's gonna show up. I don't know what's gonna be 4 people, because we've done like runs like a lot, and sometimes like I think we went to Reno. We played Altura's bar, I think it was. Played in front of like 4 people. Like our 2 locals like quit last minute. Not quit, but couldn't play last minute, and so we played against like 4 people, but we still went ham. And then we got like one of the biggest payouts too, like on that tour that we ever had. And I was like, how does that make sense? Where the math is not there.
Tour math, dude.
Yeah. But that literally these last 3 days have been nothing like that bar. Like, it's been a lot of good people like coming to say what's up, like really stoked on the new songs. And then like the bands we're playing with are really good as well. And I'm trying to like get as much footage as I can to like show them off and stuff. Cause honestly, like, as long as we're all keeping metal like alive and we keep playing shows, like that's going to get people to come to our shows. Like, we got to just keep doing it and keep doing it. So this whole like being competitive or competing against each other, it's like we're all doing the same thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then the new EP out officially. Looks like the reaction to that has been fucking rad too. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing the plays go up on those.
No, it's weird.
It's fucking sick, man.
I like it, honestly. I'm kind of obsessed with looking at the numbers on my phone like every chance I get. Yeah. But it kind of like we wrote those almost like 2 years ago, and it's just been kind of like planning and mapping it out, making sure it's like the best possible thing. And I split the EPs into 2 because it would have been a full length, but I just wanted to give someone, or like our fans, basically music in the beginning of the year and then music at the end of the year, and just have this like consistent climb the whole year of just like promoting. And so we finally are now done with like part 2 of like the EP, and we did like artwork because I wanted people to understand that it was a full length. It's not just like we wrote it 5 songs earlier in the year and then 5 songs at the end of the year. We had it all together, so I got 2 different pieces of artwork that connect into one big piece. So that way they're like, oh, this is one, you know. So that was really fun to kind of like have that in my sleeve for like 2 years. I'm like, man, I have this picture, both these artworks in my phone, and like I can't show nobody, and you know, it's finally like it's all out. You know, I can finally like just talk about everything, and you know, it feels good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dude.
And did you guys do physical copies, or is it all digital? Or
So we did physical copy of the first one. So I need to do a second one, and I was trying to like work with some people to get the second hard copy like for this run, but it just time kind of got past me, and I was just like, man, like the shows are next week, you know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do a physical copy for part 2, and then we're planning on doing a vinyl. We're gonna push the vinyl with like part 1 and part 2 and try to do like an alternate cover or something like that.
yeah,
'Cause I'm just like super creative, so like if there's an opportunity for me to like make it that much cooler, like, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm super proud of it.
it'd be dope to have both artworks as like a poster. That you,
The
like,
100%.
match
Yeah. I want to do flags again. We've done a flag one time. We have this like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat flag where our logo's like red and he's like freezing it blue. And so we have that as a flag, and it did really well. So I'm hoping to contact the same dude or maybe someone else and do like 2 flags that, you know, can connect, make them super limited. And I'm sure people are going to be frustrated and hunting for the other half if they're only able to get one.
Yeah.
You know? So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, it's definitely that age of like, if we can just collect shit, like even like cassette tapes are back, and like all this, like any type of like weird merch or like different merch that you can get out there is people just eat that shit up.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying like really hard to come out with some Reminitions deodorant. Hey, but it's like you just can't just do that like right off the bat. Like you're like, all right, like okay, where do I get blank deodorant? How am I get the labels on there? Like, what am I gonna call it? Like what, you know? So but it's just, you know, you could do hot sauce. Like if people are doing like they're doing the weirdest things, and I'm like, I'm all for it. You know, like it's freaking cool to see.
Yeah, I love it because the music side of it, it's like free basically, right? It's so easy to get to, which is awesome. But it's cool to give something like tangible.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm over here thinking deodorant, and you got people like Kublai Khan who's like, here's an axe with our name on it. Oh, okay.
Dude, the second that I saw like Supreme sell a brick, I knew that you could just sell anything. You could just do whatever you want.
Yeah, no joke.
Like there was a like kind of weird side tangent, but there was a dude. So literally, the brand Supreme sold bricks.
Were they real bricks?
It was a real brick.
Oh my god.
With the Supreme logo stamped on the front of it, and they sold for a shitload of money. And a dude bought like thousands of them because his goal was to build a house out of Supreme bricks. But he ran out of Supreme bricks apparently, and like couldn't find any more. So now he just has this stack of insanely priced bricks in his house.
Dude. I'd love to see like how much it actually like costs to print those bricks. I'm like, dude,
Nothing.
yeah,
Nothing.
Could've
Just
did it
make
at
a
home.
mold with the logo and just stuff the clay in there.
No one will know.
Yeah.
No one will know. Oh my god.
So, but yeah, like the whole like merch game and things like that, dude. It's like probably the best thing to happen to metal and hardcore was people actually giving a shit about merch. So where you don't have just like this shitty, like
the Gildan.
Gildans
Yeah.
that were like they fade instantly or like they fall apart. So seeing like even collaborations and like really nice garments and shit, game changer for everything.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I know there's obviously other ones, but one of the bands that I thought was like kind of really early in like the whole like they had like basically like they were an apparel thing was 100th.
Mm-hmm.
They were like one of the first bands I saw to have like multiple colors of the same shirt, same design. I'm like, whoa, what? Why would you?
Yeah. I think I had a yellow one, just said 100th like on the front huge, and on the back before even the word swag was even like coined like super popular, it said Holy Spirit swag, just like huge on the back, and I was like, bring me up.
This is back when 100th was still heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just indecisive. That's why they had so many merch colors. They just didn't know what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to know too if you got like a good like design to do that for, you know. Like you could be there and be like, man, we did every color and none of them are selling.
Dude, Creative Void, still to this day, we had Mike C do a design for us. He does like a bunch
Devil Wears
of
Prada and all that.
Devil Wears
Yeah.
Prada, all those like iconic shirts
Yes.
and shit. And the sickest design, I told him, I was like, hey, let's do a Care Bear with like the CA logo on his stomach, like
hard.
just
Like a thug?
two-stepping.
Yeah, that's hard.
but like two-stepping on the state of California. Dude. Sickest, like it's fucking hard, and we printed it on a baby blue shirt. Hardest design I've ever had. Baby blue shirt, fucking sold like nothing.
Before it's time.
I guess. I look at it now and I'm like, if we just put that on a black shirt, we would have fucking killed with
Boom.
it. But
Yeah, no, it's. I think we've stuck to black T-shirts so often because of just how they fade and like versus other colors.
Yeah.
And I think we did navy like one time, like a dark navy, and it was because we had this character from Demon Slayer, and he has this like water move, and so I was like, I think the blue and the water will like bounce well with the navy blue. Yeah. That's like the only time we kind of like went out of our realm. We did white one time. We did we were supposed to go to Kentucky for a festival, and I was like, I want to do something. I want to do a merch design like for Kentucky. Like we're not from Kentucky, but when we get there, like I want them to feel like they have something Reminitions like made for them. And so, of course, like I'm just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. All right, that's the easiest thing. And so I was like, let's just like take a flip on it. Like, how about we have a chicken who has a KFC bucket full of like human parts. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, we're not like PETA or anything like that, you know, like, but they would love it. But we did it, and I was just like, it's a white chicken with like red, and I was like, it just feel weird on black. So we did white, and I see people still wearing it, and it just doesn't look like as white as it used to. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like the black just wouldn't have hit right. It's just hard. It's just hard to know. But I still would have rocked the baby blue. If I would have seen that Care Bear, I would have blue.
I gotta find I have the design somewhere. I'll find it and show you before we get.
That's funny though. Like, that's a good one.
That I was just like, oh man. I think because the Care Bear was blue, so it was like easier to just match it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it was like, I really dropped the ball.
Doesn't pop as much. Yeah.
I kind of want to print it as like a poster now at this point. Like maybe just throw it in that empty corner or something.
That'd be funny. I mean, people would still buy. Like people don't even probably remember. You know.
Yeah.
You could bring it back up, redo it. I mean, there's what was it that when we played in Santa Cruz, we played with. What was that band that Arsonists Get All the Girls?
Oh, that's right.
And they had a shirt with like Ren and Stimpy or something that was just like before the show even started, there was already a line for Arsonists Get All the Girls table, just long, and it was just like it only had like 2 T-shirts, but people were just like all because it had that MySpace like look, you know. And so the nostalgia was like super real. So I'm dude, the Care Bear is like the younger generation doesn't know about Care Bears. Right. They're all like.
Right.
YouTube this, and I want to watch people open toys, you know, like they have no idea what Care Bears, but like people like me, I'd be like, bro, Care Bear? Yeah. Like that's like
is that the Mosh Bear?
Yeah. Or like doing a shirt with like a Furby on it or something. Yeah. You'd be like, Furby. It's like just unlocked a memory in my brain.
Dude, I might be wrong about this, but I feel like there's a Care Bear movie that it was like really like dark, like a really dark Care Bear movie.
Really?
I think so. I mean, dark isn't like for like kids.
I remember,
like kids.
Are you sure it wasn't like an episode of? Because there was a show that had like a bunch of different episodes of the Care Bears in it. One of them might have been like sadness or some shit.
Maybe, but it was like I feel like the kids were like being possessed or something. Is this something? I don't know. Never mind.
Oh no.
Sounds like something on Adult Swim.
I know. And I just remember being young. It's like a fever dream. It's like I remember like one of the Ninja Turtles showed up on it too.
Oh, you were definitely a fever dream for sure.
Dude, I'm gonna look this up.
They didn't like cross the
universe. It was like,
universes back then.
Like I feel like it was like for like a drug-free thing, and like the kids that were like doing it were like, but they like, dude, I remember
the kids were getting high and seeing like Mikey and fucking the Care Bears hanging out.
That would have made me want to like do drugs. I can hang out with the Ninja Turtles and fucking Care Bears and shit. Dude, I'm gonna look. I'm not now. Not now. But I'm gonna.
This is how shit just goes sideways on this show all the time. We just fucking find a tangent and just go for it.
Well, getting back to your music, I was telling Mike when we were coming because I was listening, and like I'm still fairly new to like just a lot of like the heavier like deathcore stuff, and so. When I was listening to it, I don't know. I was telling him, I don't know if it's the guitar tone or even some of the riffs, but like it reminds me of like one of the first times that I was like my exposure to like heavier music, and it was making me think of like hearing like All Shall Perish. That was like one of my like a band that was just like
Old All Shall Perish.
Dang,
Yeah.
like this is terrifying, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that's a compliment.
It is. Yeah. I actually there was an All Shall Perish song that my dad like randomly, like, he does not really like, he's supportive, you know, but the heaviest stuff in his iPod was like Metallica, you know, but he had this one All Shall Perish song on there that I showed him, and I was just like, "You like it, Dad? Like, it's freaking, it's dirt, it's squealy, you know? Like, he's doing some noises." And he's like, "Yeah, that's freaking heavy, son," you know? So
Sick.
I was like one of those bands, and it's crazy. Like, now he's in like Suicide Silence, you know, but he doesn't sound like All Shall Perish Eddie, you know? It's like Suicide Silence Eddie, you know? But I know All Shall Perish just announced like some shows recently too, and
sick.
I messaged Eddie and I was like, "Are you doing this like yourself?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Bro, like that's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be
the
wild.
nostalgia for real, you know."
There was I forget which record it was on, but they had a song called Promises.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would hear that song, just the way that the fucking breakdown would come in, and there was a line that was like, something about like remember the promise that you forgot we had.
Ooh.
And I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
hard,
This
yeah.
shit is,
Yeah.
Just like doing this while you're,
Yeah.
while you're moshing.
Those one-liners sometimes. Like, that's why sometimes I'll hear an instrumental and Michael just gives me like a fat breakdown, and I've been telling him like, leave me some space to breathe, or leave me some space to like say some cool stuff, you know. And then he will, and then I'll sit there and I'm like, man, like I gotta say something really fucking cool.
dude,
like it's,
Pressure, man.
I hate it.
yeah, yeah, no, it's
So much
dude,
pressure.
it's so much, because I'm like, people are gonna fuck with this. I already know it, but it's just gotta be the right thing, you know, like, you know. And then I'll just at work, I work in a skate shop, and so I basically walk around a lot, like just waiting for customers to come in or to tell people what to do. And in the meantime, I'm kind of just literally sitting there thinking of one-liners, like the meanest thing I can. I'm all, "Hey, how can I help you? Yeah, we got buy one get one free." And then I'm like, "All right, so let's get back to here. So slaughter my enemies, rip their heads off. Okay, we'll start with that." So like I'll run over to a piece of receipt paper and I'm like, oh, you know. And then there's other times where like sick lines will come to me and I'll be driving and I'm like, I'll write it when I get home. And when I get home, I'm like,
That
that was a certified gold record right there that I just forgot. That was the line, you know.
Dude, I have in my notes app, I have a note that's just pages of one-liners.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll go back through it sometimes and I'm like, that's fucking whack. No, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that one might be kind of, no, that one sucks.
Yeah.
It's just, but I just keep them just in case.
Yeah,
I don't
oh,
want
yeah.
to forget them.
100%. And right now, like this whole like bringing back like the MySpace vibe, but like recorded in like way better quality now. But people still love like the movie quotes, TV quotes, and all that. So like me and her have watched so many movies where like I've sat there and just been like, man, that was really fucking cool. And then I like won't write it down, and then she'll look at me and she's like, "You sure you don't want to write it down?" And I'm like, "You're right, I'm gonna write it down." Like,
You're the voice of reason.
yeah, that was really cool. But I think right now it's like, I think today I was watching Waterboy, and there's a part where they're always cut off his fucking head, you know, like, and I was just like, I'm gonna use that. It's a funny movie, but that's like a mean thing, and people like, you know, people like that shit, you know. And then they kind of like piece together like where it's from. Where is that from? Heard that before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think we have one from Alpha Dog, where it's like this Italian dude, and he's like, I'm gonna hunt you down, and I'm gonna slit your throat, and I'm gonna cut you open, and I'm gonna eat your motherfucking heart. And people like, I now see people like mouthing it like to me, and I'm just like, this is so cool. This is what I wanted.
Dude, how do you guys get away with clearing those samples though?
So I try to like pitch shift them. I try to like mess with them or like take them down like an octave or something. So like for that one, I think it was slowed down just a little bit. And then our friends in this band, I'm trying. I think they're trying to blank at what they're called, but they messaged me and they're like, "Hey, like we want to use the same sample as you, and we just don't want you to think that we're like taking it from you." And I'm like, "It's not even mine." Like, you know, I mean, it's like we did it, but it's like not belongs to us. I was like, "Go for it." And then when they came out with it, they pitch shifted it up, and so it's like, "I'm gonna hunt you down. I'm gonna hunt you down." I'm like, that sounds like a small Italian guy. Like ours sounds kind of buff. Yours is a little skinny, you know. But it's literally like it's one of those things where like when I hear them in other songs too, like it gets me hyped, and I'm like,
Yeah.
just want to kind of blend in, you know, and choosing what songs to or what movies to use and what TV shows to use, like that's always cool. And it's the crazy thing, it's like all my idea too. And like sometimes I'll tell Michael, you know, I'm like, bro, I'm thinking the song should start like this, and he's like, you really think so? I'm all just like, bro, like I think it's gonna hit hard, and then we do it, and then it hits hard. He's like, yeah, you're right. And then like we post it, and then people are like, yeah, it's the beginning, dude. Like your whole song sucks. It's just the movie quote.
Dude,
Hey,
yeah,
whatever engages them, man.
Yeah, for real.
Whatever gets them.
Everything. It matters. Everything. Artwork, the song name, like every single thing. As many checks, like, or like many boxes you can check off, like, is what we try to do.
Heck
Yeah. Yeah, we had an issue with a movie quote. We have a side project, it's a skate punk project, and we put a movie quote, and we like pitch shifted it and everything, and TuneCore was like, "You cannot do this. What? You need to clear these samples." And we're like, "But like nobody even remembers this movie. Like this is like such a weird pull," and they were just like, either take it out or.
That's crazy.
So we had to like pull it completely off of the song and release stuff. So I was like, "Fuck, how can we get all this shit cleared?"
Yeah. I would never like run into that too. And like before we started doing like real noticeable rips of like, well, because I mean, like, because there's like rips you can do where it's like, oh, like we're gonna do the Thrasher logo but with our name, you know, there's that kind of rip. And then there's just like ripping a whole like Halloween character like entirely, you know. But we have this dude who like draws it by hand like on his iPad, so it's like it's Terrifier, but it almost looks like a skinnier version of Terrifier. So he just changes it up just like a little bit. But before we started doing that, we were watching like other bigger bands like doing the same thing. We're like, well, if they're doing it, then we got to kind of like just sneakily be under the radar. And as soon as they get caught, then we're stopped.
Yeah.
And so like right now we have like a Terrifier one, a Freddy versus Jason one, and then a Ghostface one. And it's just me being like a horror, like just fiend. I love it all. And people probably like, oh, like how are you going to sell merch like not in October? That's like Halloween, and like I like Halloween like all year round.
Yeah.
So I'll wear it all the time. So I'm hoping our fans are like feel the same way. And we try to make it like limited edition, only 30 made. Like you best get it now, you'll never get it again, you know. And if we drop it again, we'll like change the color, we'll change something on it to make people feel special to have like the original. But it's definitely like I think the first time I was kind of slightly scared is the Jose Mangan is from the Sirius XM. He's like the metal ambassador. Basically does like a Incarnation Festival, I think it is his own fest, but he has like his own talk show, and he's in the new Terrifier song that Ice Nine Kills came out with, and they actually have the Terrifier actor like in the music video, which is like crazy to me that they were able to do that. And when we played in at the 1720 warehouse with there's like Orbit Culture and some other bands, I was just kind of like really hyped to see that the vocalist of Orbit Culture was wearing like just Michael Myers like on his shirt. He was that was his like not his performance shirt, that was like I'm chilling right now, this is like what I like to wear shirt. And so I was like, oh, like we have Halloween, you know, like Freddy versus Jason shirt. And he's like, can I have one? And I was like, I freaking sprinted back over there, gave it to him. And this guitarist like looks at me and he's like, I want one too. And so he's like, let me get the Terrifier one. So I go and run, get him a Terrifier one. And just like the toughest thing I've ever seen happen in front of my eyes, he freaking just rips off the sleeves, just throws it on, and it's just a muscle tank. And I was just like, that was fucking hard. That was tough. He plays the show in our Terrifier shirt. I'm already stoked right there, and I'm like sideline, see Jose kind of like smiling. He's looking at the band. I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking Jose. I gotta talk to him. Probably gonna have to stand in this long ass line because probably everyone. He has this like he just looks so like no one looks like him. So as soon as you see him,
silverish hair,
silver dark
like,
skin, you know, it's just like that guy's important, you know. And so after kind of everything settles down, I go and tell him like, you know, hey, like I'm a big fan. Like we opened up, but you didn't kind of get here in time. But it's like really sick that you're here. And he's like, oh, like you're in Reminitions. And he's like, I saw your shirt, your Terrifier one, like on the guitarist upstage, you know. And he's like, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. And he's like, I'm gonna be in the new music video, and the Terrifier character's gonna be in it. And I'm sitting there like, I gotta get him a t-shirt. So I'm like staring at this dude while he's talking to me. I'm like, is he a large? XL? You know, and I'm like, I think he's an XL. And so like run and get him an XL, and I come back. He's like, I love it. but I'm a large. And I was like, fuck. Okay, round back, get him a large, run back to him, and then he looks at me and he's like, this is sick. This is a really sick design. And he's like, they're gonna come after you when I post myself wearing this, you know? And I was like, I want that, but I also kind of scared, you know? And then he literally, I think, does ScreamCon, which is Ice Nine Kills' convention. And they're announcing at that convention, they're saying, hey, we listen to the fans. We are coming out with a Terrifier song. The Art the Clown's gonna be in it. So this announcement that he's doing is literally wearing my t-shirt like during it.
Sick.
And I'm like, I'm seeing posts about it. People are tagging me and I'm like tripping out. And then I'm just thinking like, oh, like it's just like just one day and he's gonna throw in his closet. He's probably got like so many band tees, so much free stuff, you know. And then he does for the first day of Aftershock, someone records a video of him like walking and he's wearing the shirt again, and I'm like, this is nuts, you know. Like it probably feels special to him because he's like, I'm a part of this music video, like this is, you know. And so that felt cool. And I'm like, just down the line, like if I ever get into a studio with him and he's just like, it's crazy that you're finally here, I get to talk to you, and like, you know, we met all those years ago and now you're playing on my festival. Like I'm just waiting for that to happen, you know. And we'll never know, but it was literally like a dream to see it.
Yeah. And dude, you guys are doing limited runs of it, so I mean, they're always just gonna be like, hey, cease and desist, and you go, cool,
yeah,
they're already out there.
Yeah,
they're already out there, but
yeah,
cool.
For real.
I think Vincent for the Acacia Strain, like I feel like he said he like framed, or he was like, they were stoked when they got their like cease and desist from what's it called, North Face.
I would do that too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I would frame it. That's so funny.
They were like, yeah, we'll stop.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's one of those things I think until I really feel the damage, then I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll take it back.
It's one thing if you're doing like, we just ran 100,000 of these shirts.
Yeah.
and then
Real,
They
yeah.
send you a cease and desist, and you have to turn all those over to them.
100%. Like I
But-
did one for sure that like I was like, this one might, but it was I'm walking around work and we sell like Nike SB, and I'm trying to think of just all day walking around thinking of like, you know, rips, and I'm just like, I need to take something that's either like nostalgic or something that people already wear but make it Reminitions. And I wanted a layout that was like very like, I guess like when you have just something small in the pocket and then like big on the back, something simple, because usually it's just like MySpace t-shirt, just you know. And so I'm looking at the Nike SB section and it says Nike SB, and sometimes people call us like Remy, just like a short, just like, oh, the Remy boys, you know. And so I was like, okay, let me do Remy, and then instead of SB, I'll do CA, and then I'll do the swoosh, and then to take the swoosh out of the realm of being the exact shape, I'll make it bleed. And so it's just like not the same shape. And then I was like, okay, what more can I do? And then I was like, okay, so usually they're just like, just do it. And I was like, all right, what about just kill it? And so we did just kill it, and we have like a machete on the back. And like, it's just one of those like shots in the dark that I'm like, all right, this one might get us in trouble, but that might be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yo, this sucks, but also it's kind of cool. We're getting sued by Nike SB.
I'm all about it, man. It's better to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, you know, like I didn't know.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Where does it say that? There's no, I don't see any. You need to do that in your commercial and be like, hey, do not replicate.
Dude, Torture Culture has this. I wrote a song about Red Hood because I'm a big Batman fan, and the song is called Under the Hood. And we have a T-shirt that we just straight ripped the front cover off of a Red Hood comic and just slapped it on the front of a shirt, like full front print.
That was hard.
And it's just Red Hood with a bloody crowbar, just like swinging it with blood in the air. And I was like, if we're gonna get in trouble, it's gonna be for this one. 'Cause we didn't even try and change anything. We just pulled it off the artwork and threw it on a shirt. But it's all right.
Yeah,
we're small fries at this point, you know. So they're not gonna say anything.
Right? Yeah.
So fingers crossed. We just outed ourselves on the podcast.
Right. No. I think there's our buddies in Thrown Out. They there was these they were called these comics. Was it Dark Knight? It was like these
the metal ones.
The metal,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm a huge collector. Like, and I'm a nerd when it, like, if it's shiny, if there's a shinier version, I'm gonna buy that version. And it's Oh God, like when you walk into that comic book shop and they're like, you know, here's the regular version, here's the glow in the dark one, here's the metallic shiny gold one.
Yep.
So this one's 20, this one's 50, this one's 120. And you're like, fuck, dude, the gold one. And then you're just like, but this is just like one of 10 issues that are going to come out. Like I can't go ham on just this one issue, you know?
Yeah.
But that one, I was just determined to get every foil art that they had. It just looked real cool. And I wanted to have every single one, just have them all shiny, have them all collected. And then I met the dudes in Thrown Out, and they happened to be just as big of nerds as I am. And that was kind of one of their favorite things that happened. And so they started to do merch designs and the song names, like the one who laughs or the bat who laughs and
cool.
Devastator and like and so I was just like, this is hard, guys. Like, and you guys are doing merch to go with it. Like it makes sense, you know, and it shows that you guys are like nerds, and I love that about you guys, you know. And so I pretty much bought almost like every merch that they've come out with that has that, you know.
That's
so
sick.
that's just, I don't know, that the dark side of comic books is just nuts sometimes.
Dude,
it's
and
crazy.
That particular run of like the bat who laughs is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about this?
I don't think so.
Have you seen that weird? It's basically the Joker, but he's like got all this like chains and spikes all over him, and he's wearing a bat costume.
Like no eyes, I think,
Yeah.
too. 'Cause
Yeah, it's like this universe where basically he is Joker, but he also is Batman in his universe, and he's just this psycho. It's like, if you thought the Joker was crazy, this dude's like 1,000 times worse.
yeah, it's freaking crazy.
It's wild.
And it's like, it's one of those things too where like for that band specifically, like if you open yourself up to like a comic book like that, like you have lyrics already almost written for you. You're just like, okay, these songs, I can just rip these lyrics from this comic. Like it's just boom, makes sense, you know. So like I definitely like, I appreciated that they created that whole little thing, you know. I was like, that's a good comic book to choose.
Sick.
And you got bands like Brand of Sacrifice, who did it after was it Berserk, I think is like what they did it after. And so their songs are like God Hand, and like, and it's just like, you would not name your songs that unless you kind of had that as like your fuel. And they just literally were just like, we're gonna rip off everything from this, because not all people have read this, so not people know. But they call, I think it's like the marketing is called like the Brand of Sacrifice, and it's like a certain like logo. But I've seen people like wearing that logo, and so I'm like, that band's smart. Like they're taking something that's already viral and just like, boom,
Yeah,
you know, and it works for them.
in our way. It's like,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Music and pop culture, or that like that world coming together.
And you can do that with like anything. Like I do mine with like horror specifically. I don't do too much comics. That'd be different. But mostly like horror. Like I'm a big fan of movies. So like me and my best friend Marty, he's in his own band Bone Crown, but we're just so like adamant about sending each other like our lyrics like when we're done. We're like, okay, what do you think? Was that cool? Is it cool enough, you know? And so like when I see him write, I'm just like, man, like where does he come up with this? Like this is crazy. And there's this song Binge Eater that they have, and there's this one line that it's followed by like a filthy breakdown, but he does this pattern that is just like, it's my best friend, and it was a pattern that I felt like someone like in a famous band would have done. It was just like he's like, it's like, let the devil take hold, let the world unfold, bring the whole world to their knees, so you can see my face as your insides drip from the sides of my mouth. And he just like, it's like he says it when it's like it rocks back and forth. And I was just like, when he wrote that, I was so jealous. I was like, bro, what the fuck? How'd you do that? How'd you do that? How'd you even write that? You know? And then I'm on a song with them, a completely different song. And so when I go on stage with them, I usually do my song. And in my mind, I'm like, I really want to do Binge Eater. And so they finally had a moment where they weren't playing the song that I'm on. And I was like, let me do Binge Eater. So I did it, and I was just, after I did it, I had so much just like, bro, that was so fun. Like, you need to write stuff like that again. Like, those patterns are crazy. And like, he likes like Silent Hill. He likes more like video games, if anything. And for me, like, mine's are all, like, my lyrics are almost like a story. Like, if I'm like around a campfire, and I'm like, almost like if you read my lyrics and you close your eyes and I'm like painting a picture for you, you're like, okay, you're walking through like a desolate area, there's dead trees everywhere, like the blood moon's shining through the trees and it's casting a shadow on the floor. And so I'm like, I kind of painting like this whole picture. And so it's kind of like more like I would say like movie script wise, and his are just like I think it's like little pieces of the video game and like little things that they say in there, and like I think the music video they did was like Silent Hill, and it was like little clips from the movie and just this like monster with intestines coming out and like ripping people apart. And I was just like, this is vicious. Like, this isn't even something I would think of, and I'm so glad like you guys are doing it, because like I didn't know Silent Hill fucked like that, you know. That's freaking hard, you know.
Wait, so they're called Bone Crown?
Bone Crown. Mm-hmm.
That's a sick ass name,
Right? Yeah. No, there's some names out there. There's some names out there I hear that I'm just like, man, because we've had Reminitions with the name before I was even in the band, and I think we had grown so much in the time that we were together that it was almost like too late, and I was like, like it'd be so hard to rebrand right now. So we just kind of like stuck with it, and then, but there's always times when I'm like, if we did though, we would be this, you know. And I thought of cool names, and I thought I heard all names, you know, and then you hear bands come out of nowhere and they're like, we're called Throne.
Dude, I was just thinking throwing him. I was like,
oh, so we're just verb? We just verb now? Yeah. Like, we're called running. You know, like, oh, running from what? You know, like, just mysterious, you know, like, dude, we're called dead. You know, it's just like.
When I first heard Throne and saw their name, I was like, the simplest shit. But it's so and they're so fucking good. And at some point, they had like 3 songs with like 1 million listeners on Spotify.
It makes no sense.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Even now, there's like 7 songs.
Yeah, and some of them are short, but they're to the point.
And they're on tour with Wage War and Era right now.
Shit,
fucking crazy.
And it was the funniest thing is too is like their songs are short, you know, and their names short. And I watched them come out on stage for an awards in the Canada, I think that they're from, or the UK or something like that, and everyone else who had got an award, like they're at the podium and they're just like, thank you so much to our fans, and like, thank you for blah 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 for mixing and mastering, and you know, I've been doing this, you know, just whole story, and everyone's like applause, and then Throne comes out, they're coming to accept an award. They all walk past the podium, stand like on the edge of the stage, and they just say, thank you for the support, and then they walk away.
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. They're just mysterious. They're not giving more than they need to. They're not giving any personality. They're just like, our name's short, our speech is short, our songs are short. Well, dude, and y'all still fuck with us.
We live in the TikTok era, you know.
Yeah, no, dude, smart. Attention span is so small. You don't need much. And I guess their music videos are really cool, and I guess the vocalist is like one of the guys who kind of like shoot me here and shoot this, and their outfits are really fucking cool too. Yeah. That's another thing. Yeah. Like, outfits matter. Like, you can't now it's like you can't wear just a banshee. Like, you know, you have to a pea coat, freaking.
Yeah. and their guitar player it's Buster Odelholm.
Mm-hmm.
He's in, what's the name of that band? Is it Humanity's Last Breath?
Yeah, Humanity's Last Breath.
So he not only plays in other like big ass, like good ass bands, but he's also a record producer, and he fucking rips it with like shit. So it's like they just have all the cards stacked in their favor in that band.
Yeah,
it's like
100%. Yeah. It's kind of like Body Snatcher too, with having Chris, because Chris mixed and mastered like 3 of our songs, I think. And one of them's like our most listened to song, and like deep down I'm like, I think it's the mix. Well, I don't know, it's so weird to think, but it's just like sometimes when that mix is good, like sometimes people even listen to it just be like, I want to hear that snare. I don't even like the lyrics. All the riffs are kind of like, but that snare, you know, it could be the smallest thing, you know.
It's, especially when you're dealing with like such low tunings for everything, and just like so much low end in the records. Having somebody that knows how to handle that, and you can still hear clarity and everything, and it doesn't sound like mud, like that's huge.
Yeah.
Then you just get these, because I still remember like listening to like old school deathcore stuff, and it was like
sludgy,
pure mud. Yeah. But you're like, I know what this is. This fucking rips. But at the same time, it was like you can't distinguish guitar from bass from like the kick drum.
Yes.
So now just having people that produce this shit for real and understand like how to work with that low end and those frequencies, it's a game changer.
It's nuts. Yeah. And then you have people like was it like a week ago, I had heard, it was it Molotov Solution was gonna come out with something new, and then they did. I watched it this morning. It's so heavy.
Molotov Solutions.
Yes, and it's so good. The music video even is evil. So we have a song called "Something's Killing the Children," and it's after a comic book, and it's not like about the comic book, but I took it from the title because it just kind of piqued my curiosity. And in the song, there's like, it talks about like rituals and all this stuff, and so I wanted that title to kind of like bring people to be like, what is this mysterious, like what is killing the children? Like, are they gonna show it in the video? Like, do they have a music video? Does he say it in the lyrics? You know, so that name alone was like super sick. And then I see Molotov Solution, and they named their song "Devour the Children." I was like, oh.
Freaking Nick.
Dude. And it's a good song too. And then there's one more band that came out, the Crimson Armada came out with a new song.
No shit.
And that, like, the riffage is sick, vocals are sick, and it's just like hearing these bands when they first came out and like that quality versus now, it's like they really care now. And I mean, it's not like too hard to have good quality stuff if you're not recording like on a potato or something, like, but because now you can like record it and maybe send it to someone in like another country to mix and master it, you know, like it. But it's crazy. These guys that are legends are coming back and then kind of being like, we may be old, but we're still better than you guys. You know, like,
dude, even Whitechapel dropping that fucking
visceral.
Oh my god,
I saw it live too, and and so early on I was very like metalcore and like because I definitely was just like an emo kid, just like Panic at the Disco and like AFI, you know, like screaming wasn't really like something that I enjoyed like at that time, but there would be times where like in the song Miss Murder, he kind of does this long scream, and I was like, that's kind of impressive. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It gives me goosebumps a little bit. And so then I was like, let me listen to some like heavier stuff, and the heavier stuff ended up being As I Lay Dying. It was just this big jump, and I was like, okay, this is these riffs, and then what is this thing that then becomes a breakdown? I was like, these are my favorite parts of the songs, you know. And so I was like, okay, breakdowns are like where it's at. Yeah. And then I started to hear like even heavier stuff, and it was almost too much. And it was like, I think it was Whitechapel specifically was the same time that I had discovered A Day to Remember, and they're like, and this was like the Possession Whitechapel, and I was just like, I can't even memorize that. How do I enjoy that? How can I perform that? Like, how do people even like headbang to that? And then you got A Day to Remember over here that's doing like a Kelly Clarkson cover, and I'm like, I can get to this, you know. But now that I'm like in the realm that I am, and I now look back and I start playing those albums, and I'm like, dude, this is what I'm doing now. Yeah, like they were on that rail years ago, dude. And I'm like looking at my roommate who lived and breathed all that music in like elementary school. He's like, oh yeah, this came out when I was in elementary. I was like, you were listening to this in elementary school? What the hell, dude? Like, I was listening to like Tupac, dude. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is so heavy. And so he's like, yeah, listen to this. And so like we're listening to Whitechapel on the way to see Whitechapel and diving into the old songs, and I hear them live, and it's just like even better than the tracks. It's just crazy. It's just because I think Oceano did a District of Misery tour, but they remastered everything. So even at the shows, it just sounded different. And so I was just like, I've never heard him like this. This is crazy. So I'm enjoying everybody coming back and like doing it.
I love everybody coming back and just coming back heavier than ever. Like, it's fucking sick. But I also love like the reemergence of that like metalcore sound. It's what I'm pushing torture culture into. Like, like, okay, being a hardcore band was fun, but like, let's get heavy again. But it's like just hearing just that chuggy, heavy, like in your face shit is, I miss it. I miss it.
You know? And sometimes you don't hear or feel something like that for a while. You're just like, man, there's been like 3 months, no heavy music has come out. And then sometimes it's just like smacks you in the face, like those songs I was just telling you about. I was just like, they dropped a new song, play it. And then they played it, and then I was just like, what the fuck? I can hear every riff, I can hear what he's saying. Like, this is a different world. And I'm sure they're all gonna start touring. Like, you know, we got the announcement of Warped Tour, you know, that just happened. So I'm sure there's going to be an emergence of crazy people getting back together.
Which is, it blows my mind that it's sold out and nobody knows who's playing.
That's
That
nuts.
fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, because I think it's just like to say that you were at the first one after everything, you know, and I'm sure they're gonna try to like, because I think when we were young announced Panic at the Disco.
Let Live is coming back.
Yes, yeah, just a bunch of reunion ones. But you still saw people in the comments saying like, "Man, I skipped out on the wrong year," because they skipped out on last year's, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like people don't want to miss out. They're like, okay, something's gonna happen. Because I would always remember going to Warped Tour at certain dates, but other dates having special appearances that my date didn't have. You know, so they would come to like Ventura, and all of a sudden like Mike Caronico would happen to hop on stage. They remember, and like you'd only catch it like there, and it's just like you had to be there, you know. So I'm hoping they do something crazy, because I mean like it's definitely like quadruple the price this time around than what it used to be. It used to be $30 maybe, you know, and now I think my ticket, I got VIP because I have a small bladder, so I want short bathroom breaks. So I think it's like a little bit over $500 for one VIP ticket
For Warped Tour?
for Warped Tour. Yeah, and that's like maybe like you know, nicer bathrooms, maybe like a nice fan to stand in front of.
The beer garden, probably.
But
Yeah, something.
the question is, how many VIP tickets are they selling though? Because at some point it's like, this is not even worth it because it's just as crowded as it is.
Exactly.
fucking out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was like, we went to Sick New World, and there was like, I remember reading the cabana price. I remember reading the cabana price and be like, $10,000. What the fuck? But I mean, like, if you got like a whole bunch of rich homies and you're like, oh, it's just $2,000. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
let me go to my cup holder real quick. You know? And so like, I'm seeing the cabana prices and I'm like, man, those cabanas must be front row for that price, you know? And when we got there, the cabanas are like the farthest away from the stage as possible.
Dude.
They're just so far away. There's these little cubicles, but it was like a little living room, just kind of like a little couch. But you're paying all this money and you're basically watching all the artists on just this screen, because they're just like everyone and their moms is there.
Just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we were there all day, and the lines were huge, water lines were huge, you know, like it was, and we're in Vegas, you know, so it was just like hot, you know, but it's legit like Warped Tour. I'm assuming is going to be the same. More stages. I think there was only 2 stages, or no, there was like maybe like 6 stages at Sick New World, something like that. But it was like, you could almost stand at the same stage the whole time and just be like, all right, I'm going to do like Spirit Box, Loathe, like, and then like over there is all the like Flyleaf, System of a Down, Papa Roach, Deftones, you know, but you were never going to get close. Don't even try. Like, it's retarded.
I can't do like the festival thing anymore, man. Like, it's probably because I'm old, but like just standing outside all day and being in the sun, and then like having to decide what band is more important for me to watch.
Yeah.
Like, unless like if my band's playing or like some close friends of mine are playing and I can go hang out, like, you know, I can hang out in the tent.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm just like my girl just went to Dia de los Deftones.
Oh man.
And she was just like, it's so crowded. There's like so many people here. Karima got in the pit and her whole lip is busted open. I was like, cool. And she's tiny. She's like 5'2" and like 90 pounds. So just imagining her getting elbowed in the face. She was like, I got like almost knocked out. A bunch of people had picked me up. I was like, rad. Cool.
Yeah.
For Deftones?
For
like,
real.
Yeah. But so like, but even then, just like she was sending me like pictures and video, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? It's so packed.
It's just money grab, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even like, how can we make this the best possible experience for our people? It's just like, how much money can we make off of that?
If it was still like $50, like back in the day, Warped Tour, I'll pay $50.
Yeah.
I'll go and hang out.
$60.
Yeah.
Make $60, but I guess all these bands probably are asking for probably a lot too.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's also, it's just so much riding on the name of Warped Tour, of like how many bands have become famous from being like, we got famous off of Warped Tour, you know? So it's like, that's so much pressure. And I know there's people are probably like, why even call it Warped Tour if it's not like a tour, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure it's like that name alone sells tickets. Like it's the name. Like if it was like Warped show. People be like, what the fuck is a warped show? You know, like it wouldn't be like, sounds small.
I remember, I don't know, can't remember what year it was, but it was like how you're saying, like, when the LA dates for Warped Tour and like AFI was the surprise guest.
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck yeah. And then, who are the other? I feel like that was like a thing. It's like every year you could almost count on like a band like
Something
jumping
special.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, and I feel like it was a few episodes back we had talked about when they announced Warped Tour, like, oh, it's coming back, and we talked about it on the show. And I believe it was the dudes in Pit Therapy podcast. Shout out to them. Were messaging us and you, I think, had mentioned like, oh, maybe they should announce the bands the night before, that way you know when to be there and you know things like that. But in those messages we were kind of going back and forth, and I was like, dude, but part of the like draw of getting people there early was you don't know when your band's gonna play. So you have to be there at doors.
You gotta go find
and
that
you gotta go
schedule.
find the big inflatable schedule.
Yup.
That's how they got so many people there right at the beginning of the day. Because if you know AFI is gonna play, but they're not gonna play till 6,
Yeah, dude.
I'm just gonna wait. You know.
I remember just getting a piece of paper and like just being like, all right, like 9:40. Like, fuck, dude. Or I'm gonna catch 2 of those, run to the bathroom, catch the last 2 of those, and sprint to that stage, grab merch, grab food, then sprint to that stage. Just map out the whole day, you know?
Yep.
And that's, dude, oh my God, the memories. Like I saw Knocked Loose where Brian had like long hair still, and he was on this Full Sail University stage. And Isaac, the I think he's the guitarist, has freaking long hair as well. And I have it on my phone, and it's just every time I watch it, it just makes me like just miss my buddies and just like just us getting together and just, I mean, I've been to Mayhem Fest, I've been to some other festivals, but Warped Tour was just like its own little breed. You know, it's kind of like did you guys ever go to like Rockin' Roots in Bakersfield?
Yeah.
So it's like that. It was like I was like, you could count on maybe finding bands that were gonna blow up, you know, and that was exciting too, to kind of like look at that schedule and be like, I've never heard of these bands, but I kind of have to sit through them to like watch the next band, and then they ended up being like a really good band. You're like, oh, and they're like local, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know. So like I miss that. I miss all that vibe. So it's gonna be cool to have it back, and then I think like hopefully they're gonna do some cool Warped Tour contests to have some bands compete it out. You know, like I want to see that so bad. That'll be cool.
I'm curious what that lineup will look like. Like, what era of Warped are we looking at? Are we
Like some 41
punk era,
Yeah.
or was it like when things started getting heavier? Like what?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was talking about how I feel like a lot of it's like money, and so for when we were young, specifically, I was seeing the lineup kind of like there's some new age kind of metalcore, some heaviness on the right hand side, but then you had like some reunion bands coming, and I'm just thinking about the fans and like if you choose 2 current bands, you're gonna get this like younger generation who barely can even afford to like go. You know, so they're like have to get a hotel in Vegas and they have to pay for a $500 ticket. Like they're not even gonna buy merch. They're not gonna buy hella food. They're not gonna buy. But you find that dad rock band. You bring POD. You know, you bring those bands and you're always, son, I think I'm gonna have to go with you to this one. And then your dad's gonna be like, buy all the merch you want, buy all the beer you want, buy all the food you want. You know, and then the festival's like, yes, this is where the money's at. We gotta get the old people out here. They're the ones with the money.
Jesse, how much would you pay for a crossfade at Warped Tour?
How much?
No. Not allowed at Warped
I just
Tour.
want to hear cold just five times, 6 times.
Well, I think also too, like, there's always been like festivals, but like nothing like Warped Tour. It was a tour, like every day, and it was 100 whatever bands. I forget how many stages they had at their
Rain or shine.
Yeah, rain or shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we we got to play during like a freaking like hurricane. It felt like,
Dude, we got hit by a monsoon in Texas. So we're in knee-high water, just waiting it out.
That's
Fuck
sick.
it, let's go.
I think we played in the rain one time, and I think I was already soaking wet, so like I just started like stomping on the puddles, like performing.
Somebody get this picture.
And people are throwing down in the pit, and just like water's flying off of them. It's just like, oh, this is intense.
Yeah.
We need some lightning.
I wish somebody was filming us when we were, but looking back on it now, it probably wouldn't have looked cool. Like in my mind, you know, us wet and like outside.
It was probably really cool.
Probably been like,
It's like a wet cat.
Yeah. I don't think we look sick.
Dude, who was I just explaining to about water music? Was it you? We were talking about water music videos? Like music videos where like everybody's
like
playing in the
raining.
rain and shit like that. And it's like, if you really pay attention, like those guitars don't have pickups in them. They don't have strings on them. Like
Emptied out.
yeah, everything is
just gutted.
like gutted so that you don't actually fuck up like the shit
Yeah.
in your guitars. So you're just bending strings that aren't there. Like,
I don't think I've ever really noticed that. It's funny.
well, it's like our homies in Mark of the Altar have a rain music video. And none of the other dudes playing instruments are actually wet. It's only Maddie.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, 'cause he's,
Yeah.
you know, singing, but everybody else, there's just rain in front of them. But
Yeah.
they're not. They're not actually in the water.
My buddies in Cultist, they just came out with a music video, and the guy that films us filmed them too, and we were seeing like sneak peeks of it, and I was like super jealous because it's such a like sick idea, but they're like in a big old pool. Like they bought like one of those like wide ass family pools. So the way his camera angle is just almost like they're in the sea. And so they're performing in like water, like that's up, and they're just like splashing, and there's people like out of frame, like throwing
Sick.
water. So
Oh,
it's just,
cool.
like, and I was just like, that's so like the right angles, like it's just you can't see the pool, you can't see the people, and it's just it looks like it's like mayhem. It's just raining and it's just storming, and I love those, you know, and it's so like cheap. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you trick it. You don't have to do like the real thing. You know, you don't have to go so cost effective. Like our music videos, I think like the sickest ones we have are like the cheapest. Like when I'm like, okay, like if we only had like a $20 budget, I'm okay. Let me go to Walmart. I'm gonna get these little candles. Candles are creepy. I'm gonna get red candles, and I'm gonna get these black sheets. And I'm gonna cut a hole in them so we don't have to buy robes. We'll just put them like that, and so it's just the cheapest possible way we could have done it. And it just the lighting was like a main factor, like that made it cool. Just the slow motion, you know. So there's just so much you can get away with not having to spend like a crazy amount.
Well,
There's a
looking at old music videos too. Like I know like budgets were like crazier back then and stuff like that. But when you look at like, they look, I don't know. I think because of going to Yard House and they show like old school music videos, I'm like, that's just like lights and like a couple props and stuff, and people were just like playing around it.
dude, it's insane too. Like you see, like, was it the Blink-182 video, the rock show? They're like, they gave us $100,000 for this music video. You're like, $100,000 for a music video? You could have done that with like $30, dude.
Yeah,
But
and they did.
Yeah. That's why I was like, if you're poor, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
You're gonna think smarter.
and dude, you can pull it off now, even just like with an iPhone camera, because everything's so high quality now that it just.
Especially when they're like promoting the new iPhone, and they're like the weekend video has been shot on the new iPhone 16 Plus. You know, you can too.
There was a horror movie that was all shot on an iPhone as well. I forget which one.
That's crazy.
Silent.
Yeah, but it was.
Oh, the silent one.
Was it a silent? Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
like Silent House on the Hill.
Oh, okay.
But it was all shot on the iPhone, and it looked great.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is." I
Don't
mean,
quote
you're
me
just
on that.
you're just dumping all this shit off your phone constantly, but still, like,
And I do footage like on my social media. Like I sometimes I get lazy, but mostly I'm trying to like shoot when I'm at shows. But sometimes like the lighting's a factor, you know, and all that. But I think the other day I was like on YouTube and I was watching this like tutorial of like how to change a whole bunch of settings on my phone to give it like a more of a movie quality. And I'm like freaking diving in, like switching this on and switching this off. And probably like 20 minutes in the video, he like brings up this random program on his computer. And I'm like, I don't fucking have that program.
Yeah.
Like, God, I should have figured out everything that was required before I started this. Now my phone's settings are all freaking weird and off now, you know, but it was almost this look that like, when you shot it, it looked like the color was sucked out completely. But then when you upload it to this program and you add like his special preset of colors, it like just smacks all those colors, and it just looked tremendous. And he'd be like, "This is it without it. This is it with it." And I was just like, "Damn!" Like you can like it just shines more, it just pops more, you know. But it's just crazy how much your phones can do now. You know, like I got people that I'm paying like thousands of dollars to shoot music videos, and they're wearing these harnesses with this camera, and I'm over here with my little iPhone. I can do the same thing.
Use iPhone with like a stabilizer.
Yeah,
Like,
yours is just heavier.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of social media stuff, I wanted to ask you, because you, for those of you guys that don't know, you have a page which essentially has probably more followers than like all of us combined. But so how has that affected like the way that you've marketed for Reminitions, and how has that affected like, do you notice a big like uptick in people coming to shows and people like listening to the records and things like that? Like how much has that changed the game for you guys, just having like essentially like, I don't know if you'd really call it a meme page, but a meme page.
Yeah. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. And like, I'm not even one to try to like gatekeep and be like, no one should do it. It should only be me.
Yeah.
I suggest like everyone try it, because it's kind of like a certain way to get to people that is just like checking off another box, you know, like download TikTok. Like everyone's like, oh, TikTok is cringe, and just try it. Like, you know, you're not hurting anybody by trying to throw your music on there. You're not going to get traction right off the first bat. It was just like me kind of during COVID. It wasn't something like, I'm going to start TikTok so I can start a meme page. Like there was no plan. It was just like posting things that I liked, bands that I liked. And on YouTube, I'm subscribed to a whole bunch of like people that promote new music. So I was seeing music happen in front of me, new trends happening in front of me. You know, like To the Hellfire. When To the Hellfire came out for Lorna Shore, that time on social media was just crazy. Anything attached to it would just blow up.
Yeah.
The Haktua meme, anything that was attached to that was gonna get views no matter what. Everyone was just, so me kind of starting that didn't even think that it would affect my band, but as the followers grew, I kind of started to post stuff that was kind of similar to what my band does. And so sneakily, I would just kind of slide in my stuff without being like, this is my band. I'd just be like, oh, this is Reminitions. Check them out, you know? And because sometimes it's so weird. Like you could be like, this is my band, Reminitions. Check them out. Maybe like 2 people will check them out. But if you're trying to like come from a masked character who's like Reminitions, and then there's like 50 people who are like, the masked guy has spoken.
Yeah.
We must check this out. You know, like we don't even know if it's his band, but we're gonna check it out. So I kind of was like sliding it in there every now and then. And for TikTok, it was kind of, you couldn't really like for sure get results all the time. It's kind of like a shot in the dark. But once they kind of started talking about how TikTok would get like shut down, it really like scared me, because I was like, man, like I just surpassed 120,000 followers, the most following I've ever got in my entire life. And for it to go away for something that I didn't even do, just in the blink of an eye, to lose it all, was so scary, you know? And so
Isn't it still going away?
it's something
Did
weird.
they say like January or something like that? It's not gonna.
I always feel like it's like always approaching and then it disappears.
Yeah.
It's like, nope. But it's definitely like scared me enough to want to start pushing more on Instagram. And I think Facebook and Instagram are now like linked together. I think they're like owned by Facebook. But they're making it easier for me to, if I post on Instagram, it almost cross posts it on Facebook. And once I kind of started doing the same thing I was doing on TikTok, I was seeing like a little bit of traction. And then I was seeing this trend where people were like doing their flyers, but they would do like a meme or maybe like a funny picture. And it would be like, it's called, I think it's called, what do they call it? It's not called a Ferris wheel. It's called something where you have
a carousel.
A carousel,
Yeah.
where it's just like multiple pictures. And so let's say like you open up your phone and it's like the first picture on the carousel. You shut your phone down, you pick it back up. If nothing new pops up, it'll show you like another picture from that carousel. So you're still popping up. So I was starting to post like memes mixed with flyers, and people were like feeling like the meme was so funny that they would share it to their story, like not knowing that my flyer's like attached to it. And so I was like, what is that? You know? And there's no like book that you're to read. There's no one to go to be like, why is this happening? Like, do you have all the answers? It was literally just experimenting. And I was like, okay, so the funny has to be like, the funny has to outweigh the importance of them sharing something that they don't even know what's happening. Like I could be promoting the craziest stuff on this second picture, but if it's funny enough, like they'll post it to their story. And it's just super strange. And when I started to see my numbers on my songs kind of like get way more, because I was telling you before, like I'm obsessed with looking at my phone. So there'd be certain memes that I would post and it would kind of go off, and I would look at my listens and we're like, oh, there's 30 people listening. I'm just like, holy crap. Like usually it's like 5 people listening. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, it's working. And then I started to run into other people that were doing like meme pages too. Like I have my buddy Sean in Decatur who does filthy breakdowns, and he does the same thing, but it's almost different than mine. He uses multiple, almost like America's Funniest Video clips, but he makes multiple to like the same song. So for an attention span, it's just like this monkey's slapping this kid, and then all of a sudden like this dude on a sea-doo is flying off of it and smash. So it's like within hearing this song, you're watching like 3 funny things happen at once. So that's like his thing. And then I have my friend Jeremy, he's in a Pure Core, and he does just straight up memes mostly all the time. It's nothing but memes. So once we started to link, they started to like we would collab request each other, and that was just like
huge,
big changer. Because usually I would just collab with my band members, because I'm trying so hard to like get them to be like, you could be me, like we could have the same following, like I'm not anything special, like these are just memes, these are videos of us performing, you could do the same thing. And they just kind of like, they don't see it the way I do. But my drummer, like in this last 2-3 months, my drummer has just made me so proud, because he's like he has like his drum set's massive, and he has triggers, and he has to break it apart, put it back together every show. But he sets up a GoPro, and he makes sure that like every performance he's recording, and he'll sit there in the van, and he never, like, we've been in the band for so long, and up until I was like, bro, like I'll collaborate with you, I'll show your stuff, and like little by little. And so he started posting his clips, and I started to really like, okay, like now that you understand that you can post when you're on the toilet, you can post while you're waiting for your food, like it doesn't have to be like 3 hours straight, it doesn't have to take away from your daily thing. And so I started to explain to him, like, you want to make it so people, like, don't make the video long, don't make them have to sit there for a minute, make it like 15-30 seconds, and maybe give them a reason to like want to comment, give them a reason to maybe watch the video 2-3 times. And so the one that really clicked in his brain is this water bottle cap that was sitting on his snare at this show that we played. And he plays this breakdown, and the fill is pretty insane on its own, but he goes for the breakdown, he smacks it, and the bottle cap just flies. And so in his caption, he put, bottle cap like flew. And so I'm reading that myself, and I'm like looking for the bottle cap, and then the clip ends, and I'm like, fuck, I have to watch it again. I'm looking for the bottle cap. Clip ends again. I'm like, where the fuck is the bottle cap? And then I finally see it, and I'm like, wait, this is a good video. Like, this got me.
You just watched that shit like 12 times.
I tried to watch the bottle cap. And I told someone else about it, and they're like, dude, I was looking for the bottle cap too, And then when we played in Santa Cruz, some dude's in the pit, and his fanny pack unsnaps, like while he's spinning, it unsnaps. I luckily like walked to the right of where I was, like as I'm performing, and the fanny pack just goes flying, like just flying on stage from the floor, just and you can see it in the video. And so he takes that and he clips it, and he's like, fanny pack flew, and I'm like, bro, yes. And so he recently got like 1,000 followers, and it's just this momentum that he's brought. I'm like, yes, dude, like anybody could do this. Like, it takes time. Like, it's not going to just happen in a blink of an eye. Like, this has been since COVID that I've been doing this. So it's like, at some point I'm going to get some traction, Right. And so finally it's just like enough where we drop songs, and I'll dig for a meme, and sometimes it's like the stupidest memes that do really well. It's just so dumb. Like, I think the 2 last ones that did really well for us was like, we have a song called Unholy. So naming your song Unholy, like you can basically attach that name to so many random things that are just like evil, I guess, based, Yeah. So there's this one where it's like a prisoner, and it's like, prisoner eats Bible for last meal. and it's just this news clipping. It's fake. It's not even real. And I posted it, and I put, "That's very unholy." It was like freaking 30,000 likes. Like people were just like, and my that day, like my numbers just like everyone was listening to Unholy. And then this other one was like, because AI is just crazy right now. AI is just blowing the hell up. Where like I can't even tell if some pictures are AI or not.
Right.
Yeah.
But this one, of course, for sure was AI. But it's like, it's the Pope, like basically like he's crowd diving from like the church into just a whole bunch of people, and it's just so high in the air, and he's just diving. And then same thing, it was just like I put something about unholy in there, and it just blew up, and then you get people like just going so church on other people in the comments, just going, and I'm like, keep arguing, keep going, pushing my video farther. It's pushing it farther. Like you guys are arguing about like God, and it's like, and there's people in there, like, you need Jesus, and like all the craziest things. And I'm like, keep going, keep commenting, please.
It's like the interaction, right? Or the
yeah, because it's
engagement.
like Instagram wants them to like they're gonna like reward you for bringing them back to their app, you know. So if you're sitting there, and sometimes it's like, not sometimes, probably all the time, I don't have the time to comment to like each person, but that is the ticket. You comment to every single comment, you know, even if it's just like a flame or like, yeah, you're right, or I 100% agree. And Instagram's like, okay, let's show your stuff to 10 more people because you said that, you know. So that's something that I've learned, and I'll see, since I collaborate with people, I'll see them commenting like themselves, like they'll have the time to comment to everyone. I'm like, yeah, thank you, dude, keep doing that, keep doing that. I got things I have to do, but do that But it's definitely made like a big impact for sure, like on our numbers. Like I'm here talking to you guys, you know, so that hopefully it was some sort of product of what I've been doing. And I recently did a podcast like 3 days ago with Tuck from Fit for a King. And that was like trippy, you know, because like me and my best friend Marty, like we would listen to his podcast like all the time and just be like, man, like it just must be weird to be best friends with like I have all these like idols of mine, people that I look up to, people that are just amazing musicians, but then like you guys are all friends. It's just weird, you know. It's just like, oh, Chris Wiseman from Currents, oh, my buddy, you know. And I'm like, yeah, that guy's famous and traveling the world, and you guys are doing all this cool stuff. And it's like, and I'm just this, I still in my head feel like a garage band. I don't know when that'll change, you know, like maybe when we play something really big, or I don't know when that gear will change, but it's just weird to me that I'm screaming the weirdest things, and people are just like, I want to buy your merch. Thank you. Thank you for that scream.
It's the wildest thing to be paid to any appreciated of like an art, right?
100%. Yeah.
It's like crazy. And
it's like if I was like into country, you know, like I'd be at the country bars, like I'd be riding bulls and horses, but like that doesn't pique my interest. That doesn't wake me up in the middle of the night, you know. Like I literally like just love metal. Yeah. Love it. I mean, I love music in general. Like country's not bad. Like I'm not gonna like completely shit on country, but it just doesn't give me goosebumps, you know, like breakdowns do, or like a good chorus, you know. And sometimes I'll listen to metalcore or hardcore, you know, and some of the lyrics is like, where else are you gonna hear those lyrics like that, you know? It's like I don't want to hear about chains and cars and bitches and like money. Like I understand there's rappers for that, you know, but for us, it's like we're screaming from like real life emotions and situations and stuff. And, you know, it's just, you know, it's like when you hearing those one-liners, you know, or even like when you hear like a Counterparts song, and you're just like, dude, he's going through some shit. Like I can hear it in his voice.
I feel that.
I felt that, dude, you know, and that's even like as an artist, when fans come up to you and you're, dude, I felt that on that one song when you said that. Damn, you know, and you're like, I knew it. I wrote that, and I was like, damn, someone's gonna come up to me and tell me.
Dude, the even just seeing like the footage of Have Heart at Sound and Fury, I was like, you're not gonna get that at like a Taylor Swift concert, right? Like, yes, you're gonna get a hell of a show.
Yeah,
but pile-ons like that, like,
dude, it's just
to the point people pile on, and he sneaks out the back, and people are still piling on
he's in there
to sing the song, and he's not even there anymore.
Dude,
But-
it's honestly unreal, and I'm like so stoked too that like we were talking about earlier that this metal is almost trending right now. You know, it's super cool. Like these like Slipknot's freaking doing old school jumpsuits and masks. Like it is such a weird time, but such a sick time too.
I love it.
All the like the lower niche like areas are like being elevated.
Yeah, 100%. And it all takes like one band sometimes, like a Knocked Loose or like a Lorna Shore, and it's just like they do one crazy sound and they lift up an entire community. You know, it's like what? Yeah.
And I think that the internet had such a big thing to do with that too, because like Lorna Shore, great song. Not the first time we've ever heard weird noises coming out of a vocalist.
100%.
Right? Like Job for a Cowboy fucking did this shit way back when. But now it's just reaching such a huge audience.
100%.
That like, oh, this is wild.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. You know?
100%. And that's one thing too is I know people have this like idea in their head that like we're all copying each other, like it's already been done, you know, and that's cool, but like it almost feels like negative. It's like okay, it's already been done, but like why can't I do it again?
Right.
And like what makes you think that like everyone's heard it?
Yeah.
You know, like you think everyone's heard of the Black Dahlia murder, you know, like you think everyone's heard of Dickie Allen, like there's literally a whole side of the internet that aren't even like allowed to go to shows, you know, that are like, that's out there. What? You mean no one just goes from school to home and then back to school?
Going back to Warped Tour, which is why I thought it was so cool that like when like bands from like the hardcore metalcore scene started to show up on Warped Tour, and they'd get shit. You know, people would be like, "Oh, why are you playing for like some of that?" It's like, dude, this band is gonna be the first exposure to like some kid who's probably never heard anything other than what he's heard on the radio.
100%.
Change
You know,
their
it's
life.
changed,
No
it's
joke.
gonna change their life hard. You know.
Yeah, no, it's a big, like I've seen a lot of like the shows that we've gone to lately, like the rowdiest ones. It's a younger generation. It's weird.
Yep.
I'm like, I wasn't doing this at your age. You know, like I'm 32, but at that age, I'm pretty sure I was just going like home and like watching Disney Channel, you know, like freaking, is the macaroni and cheese ready, mom? You know, like these kids are going out at night and they're like front row and they're headbanging. They've never heard of us before, and they're buying T-shirts from us, you know, and sometimes like I'll even have to like, I feel like I have to drop the prices down. I'm all, for you guys, because you guys are so young, tonight $15.
Yeah.
You know, I want you guys to go to school, like rocking this shirt and just be like, last night, like you guys were all sleeping, studying. I was saying Reminitions, dude, you know.
I want you to get sent home because your shirt is too vulgar for school.
Exactly, yeah. But it's literally a trip to see, and it makes me like super happy because it's almost a sign that like it's not gonna die. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like, I guess it's I don't know if it's weird to say, but like when you see boomers and it's like, okay, there's a certain point boomers are gonna all pass away and it's gonna be like a whole new generation. So there's no
Hear that?
there's no
You're gonna die one day.
there's no like cutoff right now in metal. Like I can't say
Yeah.
like, oh, like anybody under 20, metal is not a thing. Like it's a crazy age gap.
And I hate that mentality of like, fuck these young kids. Dude, those young kids are what's
future.
driving like all this shit.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, we're just the old heads now, and that's fine.
Yeah,
And that's
100%.
fine.
And those are the ones that are gonna like go to your shows, you know, and like those are the days. Those have literally been the show. Like these 3 days that we played tour, we probably played in mostly adults, and then there's been like 2 or 3 children like banging their heads like with their dad or with something, and I'm just like, dude, like my dad was taking me to like see like reggae bands and you know rock bands and feeling that live music like changed my life, you know, and so like. And I'm just shocked that, because I'm over here like cussing and I'm like 666 and like I'm gonna fuck you up and come find me, you know, and these kids are like, "This is sick, Dad. Yeah, thank you for bringing me." You know, like, you know, but and it's just really sick to see, honestly. Like I feel like we're gonna be able to keep doing this metal thing for like a long time.
Yeah.
I want to be in my wheelchair, bro, playing still, just gutturals, just. My legs may not work, but my vocals still do.
Just seeing bands like Knock Loose just topping Billboard charts, seeing even bands like Wage War having a #1 yeah, it was their radio friendly song, but
Right.
still, like,
Yeah.
it's still that band being at #1 spot on Billboard rock and alternative charts. That's so huge.
100%.
For everybody else doing this music.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a viable thing.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
It's just like back in the day when they were like, oh, The Devil Wears Prada charted, and you're like, oh, cool, they're career musicians now.
Yeah.
And this is sick for everybody else.
100%.
This is all like kind of like new ground for a lot of like bands. Like a lot of the punk bands, they're like, it's funny seeing interviews because they're just like, dude, we didn't have like a retirement plan for punk rock. Like we thought we were gonna die. Like we didn't think we were gonna like get families and like, and then have people still give a shit about our music and still be able to do it. Like for me, I was 10 when I bought Green Day Dookie, and it was crazy to see, like, cool to see like a punk band on TV and stuff, and now it's like there's a generation now seeing like Knock Loose, like on these huge festivals and stuff, and Turnstile, like all these, like it's cool, like that, like you said, it's not gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's
getting bigger.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah. They're doing like arenas now. Like, are you serious? Like, when would you ever think that you would do an arena, right? And that's like, I think I saw Motionless in White, Knocked Loose, After the Burial, and it was just in this huge arena, and I'm just like, man, like, what does that feel like?
Yeah.
What does that feel like? And you even got people like freaking falling in reverse, dude. Like, as much as like the internet hates him and stuff, it's just like, bro, this dude's living in a mansion.
Yeah.
He's laughing at all of you.
He fucking showed his bank account balance to everybody like a week ago because they were like, oh, you must be broke. He's like,
dude,
here you go.
What's his name?
It was insane. It was in the millions.
And it's
Known that dude
it's
since-
like all publicity is good publicity kind of stuff, and he's so smart because he's just like, I'm gonna be hated regardless.
Yeah.
So let me just be funny with it, and like he whole ass got people that were like talking bad about him on TikTok, and he put it up on like behind them on the concert on the screen, and just put their TikToks up there. And I was just like, dude, you are so smart. Like, this is viral. Like, people are gonna pull out their phones, they're gonna record this, and they're just gonna be like, dude, this is crazy, And he's selling out places, so it's like, you can hate all you want, but it's like the money's there, So that's like one of the bands too that I feel like is just like really like opening it up social media wise for like all of us, like, and that's, if they're talking about us, like that's a good thing, like it's good for all of us, because I don't want what we do to like ever die out, because like it's like literally like when I feel the most alive, for sure. It's like when we're sound checking and I'm like, dude, I can't wait to play these songs. Like, even though I play these songs 50, 100, 150 times, like, it feels so good.
That's one of the things that one of the old man wisdoms he imparted on me. We're not that much far apart in age either. I just like giving him shit. Was basically like, hey man, you're the one that has to sing these songs, so make sure you like doing them, because
you better like love your music.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because you have to play these songs.
100%. Yeah. And that's like our new stuff, because we just dropped like our EP, but we already have 10 songs written like instrumentally. I'm the one holding the band back, because I'm sitting with all these songs, I'm listening to them like over and over again. I'm dissecting them so hard because I'm trying to treat it as my last full length my entire life. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna die tomorrow. I don't know if like what's out is gonna be forever, like, so I'm writing it like it's like my last songs, and I'm just like, I want this to be like my trophy. I want this to be like my last mark on the world. And if I can do 2 more albums, that'll be great, but like, I want to put my all into it. And this might be like, touring is in the future only if I do my best, like, people only care if I do my best. And I want to write those songs that people want to hear live. I want to do sounds that, that people are like, I need to hear if he can do that for real. Like, what is that? And it's hard to, like, you can't just create a sound these days. Like the whole barking thing is like, how, you got the ooh, and you got the oh, and you got the move, and like, you have all these, but it's like, what's next? The like, are we doing what animal are we doing next? So it's like, I just kind of just like, I'm gonna stick to doing what I'm good at and what I know I can do, and then I'm gonna try to learn new techniques as they come out. So I'm like constantly adapting with like the scene and stuff, because you got obviously like Will Ramos is for deathcore, it's like people now hear deathcore and they're like, all right, I expect crazy sounds because like this is what I'm hearing from this deathcore band. So I sat there and I'm like, okay, like let me change the way I put my tongue. Let me change the way I scream out my, like I'll tunnel it through my nose, you know. I'm trying all these techniques to kind of like stay fresh and just make sure people don't say like, I don't need to check out their next album, which probably sounds like their last one. You know, I want them to always be like, okay, what is he going to do next? Because it's always different every time. And these new songs too are like, I told Michael, I was like, you need to slow that metronome down, dude. Because like, I mean, I'm not forced to have to do like fast stuff, but it's like the instrument's almost, it's like begging for it. It's just like, and I'm like, okay, like I guess I can like, you know, and then, but I'm like telling Michael, like, slow it down, bro. Like give our fans time to like headbang a little bit. Like you're just doing circle pit music, you know? And so we're still experimenting on like the instruments. Like, I don't think we've reached like Reminitions. So you can be like, oh, like that is the Reminitions sound. They only sound like that. Like, so we're still trying to find it, but it's like, you have to write for your crowd. You have to write two steps. You have to write circle pit. Like you have to write for them. Like you also write for yourself, but it's like, I'm noticing the newer songs that don't have as much circle pit or like two-step vibes. There's a lot of standing around, a lot of just like, and we could still be entertaining. Like people could just be like, oh, I just don't want to move. I just want to watch, you know, that's fine. But I want to make that shit that like makes you want to move. Cause sometimes I'll be standing there 3 bands from like when my band's supposed to play. And I'm telling myself like, don't throw down, Jay. Don't wind yourself. Keep your energy. You're fine. Like you don't get, what if you get knocked out, Jay? What if you get knocked out, you can't even play your set? How embarrassing is that? So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to chill over here in the corner. I'm just going to respect it. But then sometimes I'll hear that breakdown and I'm like taking my shirt off, hold my phone, you know, and I just hop in there, I start swinging my arms. And I want to make that. I want to make those that just like awakens this, like, I have to throw down, you know? So that's something that I've been kind of like, it's hard to like vocally I can do my thing, but to tell Michael, you know, like, hey, like, let's have some songs that are more like calm, like more like, you know, just like just slow and just old school, just more hardcore vibes, and then we can have the ones that are just like, because I know that's what he likes. I know he writes, because he always be like, but what influences you want? Like what would you want me to put in the song? I'll be like, I want this and this and this, and then he gives it to me and like none of those things are in there. And he's like, on the next song, I got you. And I'm like, okay, you know, I was really hoping for a song that would be a break, you know. And this set list that we have now is probably like the hardest set list I've ever done. It's so vocally demanding, and it's basically my fault for sure, because normally, like, for the earlier stuff, you could write like at band practice, you could hear the songs like in person and be like, okay, like, does this feels like I can kind of dance to this, and then when he hits that, then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna let that ride. But when the song's already written, it just like, and I'm hearing it in a track, I'm like, all right, words, breath, words, breath, breakdown, words. And so like this whole set that we've been doing, dude, is just like, I can't throw down as much as I normally am used to. I'm normally able to punch the air. I'm normally able to kick and headbang with my band, but everything is so vocally demanding that I'm just up there like, and it's one of those things where like, you want to ask your fans, like, do you rather me like jumping around like a maniac, kicking and punching, but like kind of not saying, like my vocal performance is not that good? Or would you rather me stand there, move around a little bit, but my vocal performance is like impeccable? Like, you
sound like the record.
Exactly, you know, and people want that. Like they listen to your records so often that they're like, I want to hear you. I memorize it the way that you do it. And I didn't even think it mattered, to be honest, to some people, because I'm like, just thinking like they don't know what the fuck I'm saying to begin with, you know. But there was this one friend of mine, Daniel. He came up to me, and I had got so bored of playing a song a certain way that I started changing it up a bit. And he's all, "Why do you play a song different?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're not performing it the way it was written." And I was like, "Oh, you're telling me?" I was like, "Damn, I didn't know you like cared." And he's all, "Yeah, I like it the way you wrote it." And I was like, "Okay, buddy, I'll start doing it for you, like normal, you know." So
you say, I wrote the song, I can change it. I play it however I want.
But it's definitely like it's just like I've been to concerts and seen performers where they don't perform their parts right. And
Yeah,
just like
dude.
I saw Taking Back Sunday recently.
That's rough.
Crazy. And it's one of those things where it's like you're a famous band, a Warped Tour band, right? Like you are so famous. You have the opportunity to like punk everybody. Like you could go up there and you could be, which I've like contemplating. I'm like, is he really doing this or not? I'm seeing footage of him, the vocalist, when we were young. He's doing like a handstand in the middle of the song, just a handstand. Just why, you know? And I'm like, but
He was like crawling over shit and like laying on top of stuff, and I was like,
And none
"Man,
of
you
it-
sound like shit."
yeah. And I'm looking at his band members. Band members are just like,
Paycheck.
we're getting paid.
Yeah.
We're getting paid
Yeah.
rather we, you know. And then I'm thinking like, but this is also going viral right now. Everyone's posting about him. Everyone's like, I mean, you could be like, oh, he's drunk or he's on drugs. He could be there sober as a freaking, like just so sober, making everyone think that. And his band just got way more plays on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like,
That'd be a move.
you know what I'm saying? And no one's gonna really know until like they're like, Taking Back Sunday vocalist has entered rehab. And you're like, I knew it. I knew it. Because the captions, they'll be like, oh, he like you need to lay off the coke. Like people are just like blatantly like, this guy does cocaine. And so that was that. At my show, it was entertaining what he was doing, but the mic was like everywhere but in front of his mouth. It was, he was swinging it, and like I posted it on my social media, and like a whole bunch of my friends who I didn't even know were there because it was like at an arena, and they were like, yeah, dude, like I don't know what the fuck he was saying up there. He butchered all the songs that I love. You know?
It's kind of been him for.
Yeah, he's been like that for a
kind of-
long time.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've heard that too.
It's
you
always
know?
been the guitar player that really
Was-
took on the brunt of like
yes.
the songs.
Someone I think at work was just like, yeah, like ever since that guy left, it's like not been the same, you know. But I'm like, bro, like they're on Spotify, they're still killing it. They just dropped that album. I think it's called like 152 or something. And definitely after that performance, I was like, I gotta check out their music. Does this sound as weird as what I'm hearing right now? You know, like they got me.
Yeah.
Like whether I was listening to for joy or trying to like dissect it, you know.
Research.
But yeah,
Yeah.
this can't be. This cannot be.
Taking Back Sunday, they own a little special time. Like they were like, you know, they had the lyrics that were so overly, you know, I would slit my throat and with my one last gasping breath, I'd apologize for bleeding on your shirt. Like,
Yeah.
and then, but you know, the recording sounded good. He's singing on the recordings, and live, he's always just been like, you know,
Dude,
What's wild is that whole like era of emo bands, right? Like especially they're all starting to come back, and the ones that had super iconic songs, like Taking Back Sunday, and come back and perform now, you're like, was it this bad back then, or was I just like sad and you know whatever? And then you have
it was
bands.
your first time confronting feelings.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. But then you have bands like Silverstein who've been good the whole time.
Yes.
And like
Yes.
just stayed and changed with the times. And like, you know, ripped it. Even Hawthorne Heights, they came back and they're still ripped.
Yeah.
They're still good.
Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Heard one of their new songs and it was a little like
Yeah.
not Red Jumpsuit. But they've been playing like nonstop in like near my city, and they've been selling out like still consistently. I saw them play once and it was really good. But it's just like do you sacrifice performance over quality, you know? And like I don't know, like during these last sets I'm just like I want to go for quality. Like I want to go for he doesn't move as much, you know, but those songs sound just like the recordings, you know. Like I think I want that.
Yeah. So before we jump in this, we have a couple questions for you. I do have one question about you guys' live performance. How miserable is that mask?
Oh. So this is my second version, is the one that I'm like currently wearing, that I've been wearing these past 3 days, and it doesn't breathe as well as like the first one. The first one was like burlap, so it just I could kind of like survive a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it had slightly better visual openings like on that one. This new one is just like made out of like a latex or some sort. It buckles to the back of my head. But I think what I wasn't ready for was how loud it is in there. Went with me screaming in there, you know.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of bouncing off the latex.
100%. And I was once I hit my highs, I was like, fuck, can't wait to take this thing off. And the crazy thing is, so there's a band called To The Grave, and they're from Australia, and he wears a pig mask, and it's identical to mine, but mine's a bull mask, and they're made by the same mask maker in Australia, and it was $450 to like get it. But this isn't like a mask maker that's like studied like vocal masks. He just knows how to make masks in general. So we definitely were like prototyping it of like, okay, bro, like when you're making it, like I need to be able to open my mouth. So this new one doesn't have the under my chin harness that the other one had. So if I moved my jaw, especially if I have like a thick beard, the cow's or the bull's mask like actually like moves like with me. So this one, it doesn't move as much, but I've just been kind of like performing with it and like listening to recordings and just being like, okay, like it kind of just sounds like a muffled version of like what I normally sound like, but people haven't been like, oh, like you're just better without the mask. Like I've just been getting nothing but like the mask is sick as fuck, you know? And I'm like, man, like maybe it's the sickness of it like outshines like how muffled I sound with it on, but it's definitely like just so good to take it off my face after that first song. Oh yeah. You know, so I'm just like sticking out how Slipknot does it, dude, and like I commend them.
Dude, Ghost.
Yeah.
Bands like that. Like
it's crazy. And I've done like
Imagine Gore.
yeah, oh yeah. That's
full
No
full
joke.
body
ads and
suit.
stuff.
like I've done like airbrush like makeup and performed in that, and I've had it like bleed into my eyes, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go blind right now, you know. I've had it, but I've never had something that was just like so close to my face, and then for me to see, like it's almost like only right here. There's this fat blockage right here. So if I have to look at something in front of me, I have to like turn my head and like look out that way. So on stage, it's kind of like I'm pretty clumsy, so I have to like really focus on like what's underneath me and like who's to the left of me and who's to the right of me, because my band members, they don't move like a lot, but I lose track of where I'm at. So I'll like throw an elbow and I'm like, Michael, that's your face.
Dude, there's the mask. I can't see.
Yeah, I can't see shit.
How close have you been to going off
dude,
the front of the stage?
That's my theater.
I think the first show that we did, I was really close to going off, and it's kind of like, oh, the Santa Cruz show. Oh my god! So that was the first day that I ever tried on the new mask, and it's like hardwood floors over there, and the stage setup was very weird. It was so a band would be performing, and then to the left of them, a band member setting up their drums. And so as soon as this band's done, then this band is basically ready for like their little baby sound check. And then once they take their drums off, then someone starts setting theirs up. So there was always 2 drum sets on stage. And so I didn't have much room to my left, and there was a whole bunch of wires on the floor, and I can't fucking see. And I'm just like, I'm not going to step over there because I'm going to fucking fall. So I'm like, I did a certain move, and I normally just like swiftly go to my right, and all of a sudden like the wire, like the cord on the floor was perfectly like in a rolling manner.
Dude,
so I stepped on it and I rolled my leg, and I just did like the splits, but I caught myself and just brought my knee up real quick, and it almost looked like I did a pose. And so I knew I slipped, but I went with it, and I just kind of held the pose, and I got back up, and then I just was just like, I told everybody that I fell. Like I was just like, did you guys see that? Did you guys see me fall? I was like, did you see me like recover though? and then I got footage of it later on, and you can't even tell really like too much that I slipped, but I definitely played it off real well. But that mask's dangerous.
I definitely know that roll.
I hate
It's
it.
just a perfect roll, dude. I was just like, whoa. And it was just like such a, like, we have been waiting to play that show for so long. Like so much was like, so many people that I had never heard us before. And I'm like, this is the time. And then I do that. But I played it.
At least you landed in a cool pose,
dude.
You know,
I could have landed on my ass.
It's memorable.
Exactly.
Well, got a couple questions.
For sure.
Mike, do you have a different Wi-Fi?
no.
I don't know why it's taking forever for my shit to load. All right. Our boy Ty sent in a couple questions. He said 5 tour essentials.
Oops, sorry.
I would say sandals. That's something new that I've realized that I needed for gym showers.
Oh,
1,000%.
Athlete's foot.
Or
That's
truck
one of
stop
those.
showers.
Yeah, you just don't know what's on that floor.
we know. We know.
Making
That's, what,
Maybe contributed.
Yeah.
that's why we need. That's why a wise decision to have because we know what's on those floors.
Maybe like a battery pack of some sort. Sometimes you'd be taking routes that are just like middle of nowhere, like no reception. Your phone's about to die. Everyone else wants to charge their phone. So battery pack for sure. Apple AirTag. We've been carrying those with us lately. We've been like hiding them in the van, hiding them in the cases, like hiding them everywhere, and just like nothing will be stolen. We will find you.
Yeah.
You just get those notifications all day. You've been followed by an AirTag.
Yeah, for real. What else? I think something to really do like in the meantime, like a book or like a notebook or something, because there's just like so much empty time, and like driving there or just waiting until you're set. Especially if you're like headlining, you're just like, all right, we gotta wake up early. We don't play till 10 p.m.
Yep.
Like
Wait.
yeah, so just a lot of waiting games. So it's something maybe to keep your mind off stuff. And then I think like baby wipes are just a must. Baby wipes just to stay clean at all times. It's just you don't even know when your next shower is, or you don't know like what messes you'll get in or what, but just gotta stay clean, bro. Especially for like your band members. Hygiene.
I've said this a lot, so I don't care. But I used to carry our band. We had a Febreze in our, and I would douse one of our members, dude, because he smelled so bad while he was sleeping. So
It's those. It's just the tour clothes, man. I remember explaining to, explaining to civilians that like the reason that we're always wearing the same clothes in every picture you see is because we keep the one outfit to play in, and then once it gets too gross, then you retire it and switch to something else. That's why I always look consistent. And they're like, "Why wouldn't you just do laundry?" Like, it's not really a thing.
Yeah. No.
It'll be like 7-8 days before you do laundry, and that's if you're lucky.
Yeah. No joke. When we went to Texas, I'm over here like, all right, so day 1 I'm gonna wear this. Day 2 I'm gonna wear this. Day 3 I'm gonna wear this. Planning out like outfits for like every day. I show up to like pack the truck, and I'm just like, the fuck am I gonna put in my stuff?
Yeah.
Then I'm looking at my stuff and I'm like, who do I think I am? Like some diva over here. Like I got an outfit for every show,
Yeah.
And then like I started to literally see like my friend Taylor, he's in Left to Suffer, and like we follow each other a lot, and I like all his photos because he always has like a good photographer, and he's always wearing like the same shirts, And for a long time I was like, man, he must really fucking like that shirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, but maybe that's like the only shirt he's got right now. Like he's touring all the fucking time. Like who does want to do laundry all the time? You're never gonna do that. So sometimes it's just that one shirt.
Yeah.
And yeah, you said just until it's like just like reeking. You're like, new shirt.
You would like hang your shirt in the trailer, and then it just stays there until the next show. And sometimes it's really stiff, so you gotta kind of like bend it back out or like wet it, and then throw that bad boy on your body, because
or put it on, let the body heat kind of like reform it again. Dude.
I would know that my shirts were bad when you could visibly see where the sweat stains were.
Yeah.
And you could tell it's like layer on layer.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to switch this one out.
And it's just like after you perform and you're just like, you really want to come hug me right now and give me like fist bumps? I'm like the nastiest version of myself right now.
Dude,
like,
I feel like that's all I say after shows is, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
sweating.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
dude, no joke.
I try, not always, but I would always try to like after we're done, if I could go before I'd go to the table, if I could run and like rinse out my shirt,
Yeah.
my show shirt, and throw on like what
A new
shirt
one?
I'm gonna wear.
Yeah.
But I mean, depending on the tour,
And
sometimes in the venue, sometimes it just wouldn't happen. But yeah, it's just like I feel so bad. People can take pictures, and you're just like, I'm so sorry.
And I'm like, you really couldn't have come up to me like before the show started when I looked my best.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, I'm literally like one eye's open, my hair's mess. like,
I met my now wife, and when I first met her, I barely remember because it was right after we'd played, and so like I took a picture with her, and I see the picture, and I'm like, I don't. Now it's like, do I really remember, or am I remembering because I've seen the picture so much?
Yeah.
And so, but that's the funny thing, because it's like, well, like now when people realize we met there, like, oh, is it love at first sight? I was like, I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
If that picture didn't exist, I wouldn't remember her being there.
Yeah.
I think she's honestly come to one of my jobs. I think when I worked at Vans before I even knew who she was, and I remember when we first met, and I was like, I've never seen you before in my whole life. And she's like, well, I've seen you. You helped me one time, and I was like, I don't remember.
Dude, I always feel like such an asshole because my memory sucks.
Dude, I swear.
And I'll have people like, oh, what's up? Do you remember? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Nah, dog.
Oh, man.
And also, a lot of times people think you're Martin.
Yeah, that's
so that's another layer of
Well,
awkwardness.
show me a picture. I might remember.
Dude, I'll never. My favorite one was we went to a coffee shop, Rad Coffee, and the dude at the counter like looks at him. He's like, "You're Mike from No Bragging Rights," and Mike's like, "Yeah," and the kid looks at me. He goes, "Martin," and I was just like, "Yeah." And I told Martin at this point, I'm like, I just say I'm you every time somebody asks, and he's like, "That's amazing."
Yeah.
So.
When's the new album coming out? We're working on it.
Yeah. Check out my other band, It's Madre.
It's funny. All right. So Ty also says, actually, it's funny we kind of talked about this. Excited to have Warped Tour back. Sorry, that's a question. If we're excited to have Warped Tour back,
Yes.
and if so, 3 bands you'd like to see play.
Oh, man. Who
With
have
the heavy hitters.
I know.
real? I'm a really big fan of Movements right now. I kind of discovered them a little late, and I understand now. I remember seeing during COVID there was a lot of flag selling and flag trades going on, and I remember seeing a Movements flag, and it said "Feel Something" on it. It's just like some chick in the woods, and I was like, that album's the cover is kind of dumb, but people were like selling it for a lot, and I'm like, why? I don't understand. And then I listened to them, and I listened to that whole album, and I was just like, I understand. Like, it's not the album cover. Yeah. I was like, that album cover is not because of the album scenery at all. It's like the feelings attached to that album now belong to that album artwork. Like, I understand now. So that's one that would be crazy to see. Man, who have I been wanting to see that I haven't seen yet? I used to really like Bad Omens, like in the very, very beginning, and then they kind of like blew me away with like their recent stuff. So I think I would be really stoked to see them. Mostly kind of see like the crowd too. Like I want to see people pulling up just to like these new bands, So I think they're the ones that are like popping the most. I would like really like to see them with like a bigger crowd. And then let me see. I think that I would like to see Throne again. Throne's just like, I don't know what it is. Just their riffs, the breakdowns, the vocals, the attitude. It's just, that would be super sick. Yeah, I think those would be like my top 3. Nice. You could put me on the spot. I wish you'd told me a week ago. I would have been ready.
This is Ty's MO, dude.
It's Ty's thing.
Yeah.
You'll meet Ty on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any top 3, Michael?
Top. I don't think I could pull top 3. I don't know.
I know.
It's pressure.
So I was trying to think of like, there's a band that I'd want to see, like that I saw at the first Warped Tour I ever went to, which would be kind of cool. Rides Against would be one of them. I think.
Ooh.
Rides Against would be rad. You know who I would want to see play again? Gallows. Gallows.
Good
would
one.
be fucking sick.
Yeah. Dude, actually, yeah. Gallows. Let Live, Warped Tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know.
I'd even take a Fever show.
Yeah.
Just because Jason is just the fucking best front man.
The
I always say-
333?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the when I first came across them, it was him getting up like in the bleachers in some show, and he was just like, I was just like, what kind of front man is that?
Dude, he's like even like 15 years ago, back when like we were playing with Let Live and stuff, he's still even back then like one of the best frontmen I've ever seen. Like how do you not get tired, dude? Like I'm tired a minute into your song.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's just a fucking machine.
I have to drink at least like a Monster or two to kind of like wake myself the hell up. And it's like bad too, because it's like if we're doing like a tour and I'm like a Monster every night, it must be part of my ritual. And it's just not like I'm leaning towards like no sugar Monster, like try. It's like the
White
healthiest
Monsters?
Yeah, the healthiest route I could take. But I just like I once you're kind of like known for your energy, it's like so hard to not give it every freaking time. And even though, you know, I'm playing like 10 songs and 5 songs in, I'm just like, I cannot take another song. I'm like, I went too hard song 2. Why the hell did I go too hard song 2? Because sometimes you just feel it. Like sometimes like the crowd is maybe going like extra wild or something sets you off. You're just like, I'm an animal right now. And you just like let loose jumping and kicking, and then you stop playing and you're just like, we got 6 more for you. You know, it's like, Jesus Christ. And then like, I'm still able to power through it somehow. But of course, like I'll like know my song so well that I'm like, I'm going to not say something for like this fat minute and no one will notice. And I'll just say cool stuff like move it, 2-step, 2-step, you know, shake that ass. But deep down, I'm like, catch your breath. You got this.
So we have a ongoing thing where anytime either of us performs live, we watch each other to make sure you're not resting your hands on your knees, because then you just look old, right?
You're doing it.
This last we played at Thane with Get the Shot last month. And there was a moment where I was looking at Ty. I was watching Ty do like this little bass riff, but I had my hands on my knees like this, and I was watching him. And in a split second, I saw a camera flash go off. I was like, fuck, no. And there's a straight up picture of me just with my hands like this, just looking at Ty. But I was like, Mike's going to think I was tired.
Yeah. Failure.
Dude, that used to be a t-shirt.
Dude. And then so he found a loophole. He just takes a knee and then acts like he's contemplating. And really, he's just
breathing hard.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, like it. I think what I've been doing is I'll just set my hand on my little hip, kind of like a little soccer dad pose, you know, and just hold that at work, or just sit like that. I'm like, hey, stop.
Dude, I've thought about becoming a mic stand guy just so I have something to like lean on.
Dude.
Yeah, I've always like stayed away from the mic stand, but like sometimes like you play long enough and you're like, I want a different feel.
Yeah,
like, what is it like to not hold a mic? You know, like. So I've been thinking about it. I mean, I'm not like to the extent where I'm gonna start hitting people with the mic stand. Like,
just that guy that's holding the fucking mic stand.
I want to do the Freddie Mercury, where it's just a little piece of the mic
Just
stand.
the boom arm.
Yeah. Last Ty question. He said, out of ordinary pre-show rituals.
Definitely the Monster, I guess. That's not like super out of the ordinary, but Monsters for sure. I have to do like warm-ups for sure for my vocals.
Good.
'Cause at some point, at some point, like, you know, you just hear the difference. You're just like, I'm not going to warm up today. And then you scream and you're like, wow, I really sucked at those highs. And like, wow, those lows sounded really sucky for the first 2 songs. And then it felt like I warmed up song 3, you know. Yeah. And then you go and warm up and you're just like hitting these major highs, major lows, like from the get-go. And you're just like, so this is what it's like to do your job well. Mm-hmm. So for sure, like those are definitely like important. I don't think we do anything like super weird, like anything out of the ordinary, to be honest. I mean, Michael, my guitarist, is usually sleeping half the time. That's something you can count on.
Nice. All right. Dreaming a Reality asked, are you excited to play a bookstore?
A bookstore? Was it a chop shop? That one?
Corona DBZ.
Oh, the DBZ?
I think is it? It's a
Bookstore?
bookstore? I don't know.
It's across from the public library.
It's what?
I think it says it's across from the public library. That's where I work.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm stoked. I think we've done a discount store before in San Diego, and we walked up in there and there was still like discount store set up, and I'm like staring at like the stage, and I'm like people are just like crowd killing the clothes racks. Like where does everything go? Like I don't understand. Like this is like a whole ass store, and they're like, oh, we push everything back, and so like once everything came down to it, they pushed everything, and it was just like a really nice little place.
Sick.
That honestly was like one of the funniest shows that we've ever played, because the promoter is just short little dude, probably like as tall as the stage was, because the stage was pretty tall. And we were talking about this earlier, when you get what you ask for when you're talking to the crowd, you know, and sometimes it's more than what you think. And this is one of those times where like I was just like in shock that it happened. So I'm like talking to the crowd, and I'm like, I want to see some more energy. You throw some people. If you came with someone, punch them. I'm just like asking for all this anger, and I'm like, give me everything you got. And the lights are so bright that it's almost like if you were to be in like complete darkness and you can only see like an inch in front of your face. Yeah. That's how bright it was. It was just this beam of light, and you could see nothing. And so I'm saying this, and it's kind of like a fill, kind of bringing it up to the breakdown. So I'm like telling everybody, give me everything you got. And then all of a sudden, like before I can even react, like as if it's like I said, like pitch black, and if something just popped up in front of you and you just have no time, there's just a human body backwards flying at me. And without even being able to react, he basically like hits my leg, and it swipes my leg out from under me, and I just eat it. I just fucking fall on my back. And then I get up and I grab the mic, and I just headbang like perfectly on the breakdown. Just went back into it. Boom.
Fuck yeah.
And then we're done, and I'm just like, all right, what the fuck happened? What was that? And I'm like, look at footage. And
You said to throw my friend.
Dude, I'm looking at the footage, and the promoter is standing like at the farthest back of the venue, and I'm like doing my call out, telling everyone to come in. He sprints from the back of the venue, sprints so fast, jumps and turns back and throws his whole body at me and knocks me off my feet. And then and I just have this big old bruise on my knee, and he's all, I did what you asked. And it was just so funny. That was the promoter. I was like, hell yeah, dude. And we ended up posting that online, and it ended up doing like really well online. I was just, watch me eat shit. I like everything that happens that's embarrassing to me. I'm like, let's put it online. Show people that crazy thing can happen out of our shows.
Dude, like, did you just see the footage of Alpha Wolf getting the lead singer getting pulled off stage by security?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, because he wasn't catching
people
stage divers.
Yeah.
He's like smacking his head off. He's like, fucking catch him, dude. And the dude grabs his leg, pulls him down, and then his band members.
Yeah, his guitar player fucking start.
I was like, you. But that's the type of shit that's like nuts. Like, I can't believe there's security out there that don't do their jobs.
Oh, dude, I've seen so many.
It is nuts.
Yeah. Crazy.
I can do it.
Our boy Greg from the band Moment's Notice. He said, what are some bands that are crushing it in the local scene that you love playing with?
So my local scene is kind of small right now. It's feel like a lot of the same bands like playing, but I'm friends with so many bands in different genres that like we don't always play the same venues. Mm-hmm. But there's some bands like my friend Corey has a band Full Clip, and they do hardcore, and they're kind of like up and coming in my city, and they're playing really good shows, like getting really good traction. And they were in like other bands previously. They're just kind of like doing some new stuff. So they're in the hardcore realm. Mm-hmm. My buddies in Bulldog, they're doing like really well as well. So those are more like my hardcore friends. Mm-hmm. And then on the heavy side, I have like Eternal Blooms doing really good right now. Sleep Serpent. A lot of buddies of mine, honestly, like we're all like not gonna stop anytime soon. Like every time we talk, it's like we're talking shop. Especially when I'm talking to my buddy. He's not local, but they're from the Sacramento area. But Greg from A Moment's Notice, and then Ryan from Titan. We literally talk band like just everything, like merch, like what are we gonna do next year, what runs are we gonna do, like our songs. Like we care so much about this. It really, when they talk to me, like I can sense that they love it as much as I do, you know. And it's really cool. Like it's like you inspire each other, you know, because I got Ryan over here in Titan. He's doing like a whole ass festival, you know, and he's there's young kids like taking on so much that I stress me out, you know. And I've done like my own like birthday bash in my city where I got all the bands and I had to pay all the bands, and I had, you know, it's so stressful. And we got a chance to play Titan Fest, and I already know the mentality of like when you're the main piece of the show, everyone's talking to you like they're like maybe haven't seen you in a long time, you know, so you're just like catching up with all your friends, but then someone's at the door waiting for their ticket, and then the band needs to go on right now and they're like taking forever, and then like you got to get paid out, so like you have to go find, so there, so many things are happening that like you don't want to be mean to your friends, but you're just like, bro, like I wish I could. I promise we'll get to this. I can't. And so when I'm at Seinfest, Ryan, you know, he's trying to work 2 stages and he's doing so much, and I say what's up to him, and I can already sense like so much is going on. I was, I'll let you be, Doc. I already know. I know. I appreciate you, Doc. And he's like, thank you. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, I know. I get it. But it's one of those things where like he's trying to give back to his city, and that I see is like so inspiring to me, because I'm over here like thinking about money. So I'm over here like, okay, dude, because he likes to take advice as much as he can from the people around him that like really care. And so he's battling this idea of like, do I just get a whole bunch of locals that deserve more of a spotlight, or do I charge more per ticket and get bigger bands to make people come, and then they're going to get new audience, because they may not come unless these big bands come. But his mindset is completely like, how can I get my locals to be seen? That's like his number one focus. He doesn't care about big bands. He's like, they're already doing this thing. He's like, I want to go to different cities, and I want to take their best locals, and I want to have them a place to go to, and a place that they can count on every year, like Time Fest every single year. And so for me, on the outside perspective, I'm just like, dude, that is so much to chew. Yeah. And he has a great team. Yeah, like Sacramento has such a good support group, and like we have that in Fresno as well. So it's like really sick to see that like 4 hours away, like we're still Cali, you know. Yeah. So it's just 4 hours away. They're killing it over there. So that way, me in Fresno, when I go to Sacramento, which is like I said, 4 hours away, I already have this whole community that like they all love each other. They're all tight and they welcome me, and I'm like, I'm not being welcomed into just one band. Like I was welcomed to a whole festival of like 10 bands that were like, oh, like. Everyone was so nice, and I'm just like, damn, like more people need to do this. Like I know it's hard, and I know it's like costs a lot, but it means so much to the bands for sure. And I just like I commend Ryan like a lot for that.
Yeah, and we have Ryan's on our list. Him and I have talked. We just haven't arranged a date yet about getting him on the show too. But like, dude, we played with them in Santa Ana, and they're like the sweetest dudes. Like they're all super nice. They're all really cool. So yeah, they're rad.
Yeah, their numbers are really good. Like I've been watching their numbers for a band like of like what they're coming from. Like we performed a little run with them, and it was just one of those things where I was like, I don't want this to end. Like sometimes you have those good tours and you're just like, damn, dude, really?
Yep.
I have to say goodbye to you? No, I want to see your face every day.
But just bye for now.
Yeah, for real.
It's random. I think it's Fresno. Was there a coffee shop that would do shows called Cup of Joe?
That sounds familiar. That sounds real familiar. It's probably before my time, because I'm slightly new to Fresno. Okay. Probably like 2010 is when I had moved to Visalia, and probably not until 2014 is when I actually like found that whole scene. For like literally 3-4 years, I was just like work home. I would scream in my car. I would like bust out the air guitar and the air drums at work all the fucking time. People be like, "You play?" Nah, just this. I'm really good at this. Yeah. Dude. And then I finally found like that whole scene, and at that time, I think the not the biggest place, but the most popular place was the CYC, the Chinatown Youth Center, like the type of place where like the PAs would smoke. Yeah. Hell yeah. Fires were definitely gonna happen.
Dude, my friend had sent me a picture, and she's like, "No, Bragging Rights played here in 2001," and I was like, "Oh shit, yes we did." It's like I think it's just a hand.
Yeah, I was like 25, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, the crazy thing is I can't even tell you how long I've been listening to Bragging Rights. Is it Cycles? Right? Cycles. Yeah. That was like when I found it, and I was just like the singing, the breakdowns, all different. It was all different, and I would listen to that shit like frequently. It just had its own vibe that I couldn't really find from like anybody else.
Oh, thank you, man.
Of course.
Thank you. Yeah, 2001 though, we were just like straight
punk band.
Just a bad MXPX ripoff, basically.
Just the breakdowns were just, I don't know what it was. I just like I really liked those breakdowns, and the singing was catchy. I was a bad singer, and I was singing that in my car.
Dude. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I like to sing. I'm happy that I could still do it in a heavy band.
It's honestly like one of my pleasures to like clean sing. I don't do it like well, but I like love it, and I usually use it to like warm up my screaming voice.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things now, like in Reminitions, where I was just like, we're never gonna have singing in our songs. Like we're tough guys. Like we don't do that. Deathcore, you know. And then I'm like sitting there and I'm like, but like if I do sing,
It'd be nice to have.
it'd be cool.
Yeah.
People would sing along. Would probably like revisit the song just for the singing. You know, and then like, well, like, and then I'm like thinking, I'm like, man, it'd be so stupid if I sang and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, you're famous now. You go on tour. And I'm like, I could have done this the whole time, dude. So now I'm like sitting there like, all right, like don't second guess yourself. Just fucking try it. Just do it. But it's definitely like my I get so dramatic with my screams, like where I'm like basically messing up my singing voice in the midst of it. So like there's just high notes that just like airy after I scream so much. So I'm like, I need to figure out my comfortable singing voice with my screaming, or just completely pass it to my drummer because he has like an amazing voice too. And I'd probably love to breathe for that second too, you know. And while singing part's coming, go for it, LZ. And I'm just gonna start drinking hella water and then just wait till I come in again, you know. So it's kind of experiment, but it's definitely hard. It's so hard.
Well, one of my favorite joys on when we're playing is when there's like some kind of gear failure, and so it's like, oh no, we have to take a break, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. I'm like, oh man, fix your shit, man. It's so embarrassing. Sorry guys, but I'm like catching my breath.
I'm gonna take a knee and think about this.
Yeah. You guys just let me know when you're ready.
I got a question from Davey. So what's been the most exciting thing about seeing your band grow? Is it merch sales, live shows, online presence, the people you meet, etc.? Very curious to what has kept you guys going for so long. And I don't know if this is your poke pal or your poke pal, Davey, but either one of those sounds cool.
Yeah.
So shout out Davey from Ceasefire.
I think honestly, the coolest thing is when we did that run with Cultist. We went all the way to Texas, and there's people that I met that thought they would never meet me in their entire life. You know, like you come across that band and you're just like, dude, they're from Germany. Like, when the hell am I going to go to Germany, dude? And that's how I was, am I wearing my half me hat? Yeah, so I'm wearing this half me hat right here. And they're from Germany, and I found them randomly, and I was posting them on my Instagram. I was like, this is one of the top breakdowns of 2024, you know, and I'd hyped them up, I think like 2 or 3 singles. And then all of a sudden they're like playing a show in Fresno with like Victims and Oceano. And I was like, what the hell, dude? Like I thought this would never happen. So I finally felt that like I thought I was never going to meet you, you know?
Yeah.
And you're here, you know? So like I felt that in Texas, and it was just so far from home. And for someone to be like telling me basically like what you're doing like worked, like because of what you promoted, like I'm here. And I'm like, it's working. Like what the hell, you know? And then merch for sure. Like merch is trippy. Merch is something that you don't realize like how crucial it is in the beginning when you're just like trying to figure out how to be in a band, and you're just like, how do we survive off guarantees? The hell, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then you print your first T-shirt, and you don't have a lot of fans like at that moment, so you're just like, man, like we've only printed 30, but we've already played 5 shows and we still have 20, you know, like this isn't even, how do you make money, you know? But then I think we had got like a good enough traction from some of our songs that when it did click that I should start doing merch more often, it was just like a big amount of a difference. And I was just like, what the hell? So this is how you be in a band. And it was just overtook my mind as far as like, okay, if I come up with the right designs, we can have cooler music videos. If I come with cooler merch, we don't have to pay for gas. So it's just like merch. And so, you know, it's definitely like experimenting. Like I was telling you guys earlier, you know, you could go for like the nostalgic MySpace design, or you could just go with like a straight logo T-shirt, you know, and you don't know until it starts selling, like if it's good or not. And at first, I think it was just like a simple like R, and on the back it had like lyrics. Like I said, I want to watch you burn. And that was like kind of like the first t-shirt that everyone started to wear a lot. And I would like see it in my mall. And the crazy thing is, when I first moved to Visalia, there was a band called Dawning of a Massacre, and it was short for Dome. It'd be Dome. And so there'd be shirts in my mall, people walking around on the back, to get you some Dome. And I was like, I can't wait till I'm in a band and people are wearing like my stuff. Like that must be so cool, you know? And then I started to see like my own t-shirts, and then I started to sell them online, and I started to have people messaging me like in freaking like Tennessee. Like, oh, I went to a concert and I saw one of your shirts. I'm just like, what the hell, you know? And then you're doing merch orders and you're just like, okay, this one's going to Michigan, this one's going to Florida. You're just like, what the hell? Like, this is so crazy. And then you start like, it starts taking longer and longer to pack up merch. And it's kind of like, this sucks. It's also really fucking cool, you know? Like, and so I think merch is literally like the ticket to everything. Like, you have to, it can't just be anything though. Like, you really have to think about it. Like, ask your fans, like, what would you guys like to wear? You know, and that's what I have. Like, I'll come up with like designs, and I'll test them out in like our own Reminitions group. And I'd be like, okay, you guys obviously are the ones that buy our shit. Do you want this? And they'll be like sometimes I'll get like 2 likes, and I'm like, all right, we're not printing that.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are like, oh yeah, but like you should do it in like blue, or you should do it in green. And I'm like, okay, but it better not just be you that buys it, you know? Like, this better be like everyone will like blue. And so definitely like promoting my band through my social media, like through Breakdown King, mixed in with merch, has now made it like so much easier to accomplish like the music videos and stuff. And but it's like very like hard to know where to invest your money, you know? Like, do you go to tour and throw all your money into merch, like every dime that you have, and you're just going out there like just broke, and you're just like out there like literally begging for money because you're just like, we have no gas, like we literally put everything into merch, you know? Like so it's one of those things where it's like, you're never gonna have like a nice playbook on how to do things correctly, but merch has like changed the realm for sure. And then like all of our designs have sold, like which feels good. It's like all of our designs have all sold out at some point, you know, whether it's like we don't have their size in anything else, and so it's just like the one that doesn't sell is like, all right, it's like that's the only small we have, like, you know. So
right.
But it's like it brings a smile on my face that people choose our shirts to wear to certain occasions, you know, because like I sit there and I'm like, all right, I'm going to like Halloween Horror Nights. What am I gonna wear? Like, how can I impress my friends? Like, what's cool? And then people show up in like my band t-shirt. I'm like, you chose my t-shirt to show to like an event like that. Like, it's freaking cool. I appreciate that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely like a trip.
Last question from Never Bloom. Said, biggest inspiration?
That's such a broad question.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm inspired like all the time. There's a lot of people that do different things that kind of inspire me, but I would definitely have to say like Mitch Lucker and Darius from Spite. Those are the people that like even if the years go by and new vocalists are born and new bands become famous, because of them I do things differently like on stage, and because I've taken their advice, it's got me like that much farther, you know. And it's like simple things like move around, you know, like no one wants to see a vocalist like stand still. And I used to watch Mitch Lucker, like his headbangs, his moves, his vocals, and just like how effortless it was for him to do certain things. And I was just like, man, like I want my energy to be like that, you know. And then when I first discovered Spite, the music was so angry and mean and crazy and just like chaotic. And then when I saw them live, it was just like a whole other monster. It was just like, some people tell me too sometimes, they're like, sometimes I feel like you're possessed up there, you know? And I'm like, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah, I try. And that's kind of like seeing Darius in those first few shows where there wasn't a lot of people. He was going ham every single time. He just had this look on his face. Veins were popping out of his head. He would shake with his screams. And I was just like, I feel it. I fucking feel it. and now they're like touring the world, and I'll see him every now and then, and he remembers me because he's on one of our songs, but he'll ask me like how my band is doing, and I'm like, bro, like, we're doing good, but like you bro, like you're fucking doing amazing, dude, and I'm so happy for you. And I just kind of like sit there and just realize where he's at and how he got there, and like what needs to happen on stage for you to connect like with your fans and like really make them want to pull out their phone and be like, this dude's foaming from his mouth, like we gotta film this, you know. So I'm like, I do everything I can to really like take on that persona, like that, like almost like you're in theater, you know, like when I step on that stage, like I am like otherworldly, you know, like I want to foam from the mouth, you know, I want to just look like there's something wrong with me. But that's definitely those two. Like I'm like I said, I'm constantly inspired all the time by like vocal techniques and stuff like that. But they've made such an impact on me that I've carried on that inspiration for like the past, I think like now like 7-8 years. I think I've been listening to them like nonstop.
Heck yeah.
Sick.
Mitch and his giant legs doing the stomp.
Dude,
stomping.
Mitch was total sweetheart, but so lanky that like his movements just looked like alien-like.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
that stomp, like his fucking foot was like above
Yeah.
above his head.
And that's like I stomped myself very high, and that was kind of like one of the first videos that had kind of gone viral for me is I performed with my friends on Halloween, and I came on stage for like what literally was like a feature that I was on, but it was the first time I had even like performed with them to do my feature, and so they hadn't even seen me perform it like live before. And so I go up there and I do the feature, and the timing's like so perfect for me to like headbang, and then followed by like a nice just big ass stomp. And the funny thing is, like, as I'm doing my thing, the bassist is like watching me in real time for the first time. He's like, like just completely in shock, like it's going so well. And I post that online, and it's just like, you know, I'm like, do you fuck with the Mitch Lucker stomp? You know, like just kind of just choosing your captions like wisely. And people just like double tapping them. People like, oh, like I feel like he's reincarnated, and like, you know. And then, dude, the craziest thing is on TikTok, I posted that video, and his like wife commented on it. She's like, thank you so much for keeping his memory alive. And it means so much to me. And she like followed me, and I was just like, what is life? You know, like such a simple stomp brought me to here. You know? And so that it just kind of like was like, all right, I gotta stomp more often. You know, it's like you really have to listen to your fans. Like they'll tell you what you do that's different, and you're just like, all right. There's a song we have called Manslaughter where I scream and there's no instruments. It's just like, from the depths of hell, like just fucking loud. And I take the mic away, and I usually scream like at the ceiling. I just scream like my fucking hardest, and it was always a crowd pleaser. And so like I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and it was just my own little random thing. And then all of a sudden, like there's footage of Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail, and just this buff ass Russian guy, and he's just like, no mics. Everyone's like, ah. And I was like, I did that. I literally already did that. You know, it's just like someone saying a joke again that you already said. No one laughed the first time. And you're like, I literally said that joke already, dude. Like, what? So it was just like funny to me. I was like, all right, well, like now you can have the great value version. If you want to hear someone scream, you know, come to my show. I do the same thing, but on a smaller scale. But it's like
The Timu.
yeah, but they'll tell you, like, your fans will be like, hey, that part where you scream by yourself, sick. The stomping, sick. You know, you're just like, all right, what else? You know, you just keep kind of building this, like, what makes us us? That? Okay. You know, you just keep kind of going that route. That's what I tell people, like, Tuck from Fit for a King, we were talking about, like, because he doesn't like, he doesn't like that to go viral necessarily, because he doesn't like the comments. It's kind of like, it's super weird. Like, you get people in there like, man, like those spins are super cool, and then you got people in there like, go kill yourself, you know. And he's like, it's just weird, you know. And I was like, honestly, I was like, whether or not you're gonna get hate, but the funny thing is, like, the more that they comment, the more that they're pushing that video in the algorithm. Yeah. And so you just turn in there and you start like fucking with them. You just fight with them if you want. You know, like, you're never there's a little keyboard warrior. They're not gonna come get you. But the more you fight with them, like, the more funny it is, you know. And so I was just telling him, like, your thing is your spin. Like, you do this spin that's just like, you're just like this something I haven't seen a lot of people do so fluidly and like to the breakdowns that you do too. But that's like your thing.
Yeah.
And when every time I post him spinning, I'll put like how many times did he spin, or I'll put something funny like POV, like you're a bowling ball headed for a strike, you know, because he was like wearing all black and he was just like spinning, you know. And these like 20,000 views, 26,000 views, and so he's telling me, you know, like I'm not used to that, and I'm like it's weird, definitely, but like that's when you tap into like what makes you followable, you know, like your spins are really cool, and so that's like the beginning stage. And then once people find out that you're funny, you're good. Like they're gonna follow Fit for a King, but they're also gonna follow like your profile because you're like, this guy's funny, you know. And like that's one of those things, like being more personal, I think, is like something like we're trying to do more, like trying to get people to like know every band member like a little bit more personally, you know, and feel like they can come talk to us at shows and stuff like that. Because being so mysterious is like super cool too, but I just like once people figure out like we're good guys and then like want to support us, you know, then no one wants to support douche. You know, it's just I don't.
When we were doing our album Concrete Flower, we were crossing over. We were at the same studio at the same time as Fit for a King. And my first memory of them is like we're walking downstairs to go out to eat, and they're like, it's like three of them are like wrestling. They're just like on the ground, like rolling. We're like, you guys good? Like, oh yeah, we're good. We're just, you know, like we're just
messing around.
Yeah. Like, all right, cool. Well, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. Like, it's funny. Just random.
Their vocalist too has this like long ass record scream. I forgot I think the song's called like Backbreaker or something like that. Just screams for like eternity. And I was just like, as a vocalist, I'm like, I remember walking up to him after the show and be like, how? Are you backtracked? Will you tell me the truth? Are you faking? Are you just opening your mouth and it's just playing behind you? And he's all, no, bro, that's me. He's all, it's literally cardio. I play a lot of basketball. I was like, I'm fucking bad at basketball. Damn it.
Dude.
It's the lung technique, dude.
Dude.
The reserve air.
It's like a whole third lung or something, dude. I don't even know.
I mean,
Chester Bennington can do it. The new Linkin Park chick can do it.
Yeah.
like holding out a scream just seems wild to me. I can hold out if I've been in shape, like if I'm like tour shape, whatever. I can hold out a note for like a pretty long time. Like the thought of holding out a scream just sounds like I would just never want to do that.
Dude.
I don't even want to ever try.
For me, I can do like a long one, but it would have to be like a low, and it would have to be very like low register at first. You have to like turn the mic up probably like a lot, and I can probably just let out as little air as possible, a little bit of air. I've done it on one of one of my friend's songs, and like I think it took me a couple tries, and after I kind of like was just like, fuck, what if I have to do that live? Damn it, that's crazy. I have to take like the fastest, deepest breath as possible.
Dude. Ugh.
Mike hates screaming.
Yeah.
I hate it, man. I don't know. I don't even know. I just like singing a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to sing more. And then screaming is just something that I just did because it was like, you know, we're gonna have your band. And I tried. There was a point in our band's history where we were like getting, you know, we were starting to get out of the punk rock stuff and going more towards like the hardcore stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna either just do all screaming. Like I'm probably gonna do all screaming. And then around that time, Ignite had released their album Darkest Days, which was like one of my favorite albums. And like they were marketed at the time. They've always been like a punk band, like, but they were marketed as like punk hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking like, well, they're hardcore.
Yeah,
and
Zoli
he sings.
singing. Yeah.
I could sing, like, oh, maybe, you know. And so that was kind of what I held on to, was just like, okay, well, this band is a hardcore band, they sing, so I can still sing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And that's like the deathcore realm right now has a whole bunch of singing in it. And it's different kinds, though. Like Whitechapel kind of
low register, like.
Yeah. And then you got some, like, there's that band Malevolence, I think it is. It is like, it's like the weirdest scream. It's like, I mean, like, mimic it right now, but it's like, it's like this weird, like, just belting out of stuff, you know, and it's just like tough Neanderthal stuff. I'm like, I like that.
Sleeping Giant had like that.
Yeah.
Like almost like a
like chanty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. But I'm like, I'm used to like my like just post-hardcore, metalcore kind of singing. You know, like I don't know. It's just like I think the higher register voices get me more. It's just such a different, like, it's heavy scream lows and there's like high pitched.
Talking about like a Polaris type of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just such a good balance. Such a good balance. But I don't know. It's. I think for sure I'm like more of a fan of bands that scream and sing than like just straight screaming. But like I'm just love the fact that like Left to Suffer, of Sulfur, they're just like sprinkling a little bit of singing, and it's like making me revisit these songs for the singing, you know, because I'm like already a fan of the screaming. It's like I'm already gonna come back for this, but like this is really good. Like you wrote this really well. And now Taylor Barber, he's in Left to Suffer, but he's also in 7 Hours After Violet. I think 7 Hours After Midnight or Violet, something like that. But it's with Shavo from System of a Down is in his band. Dude, they're so good. It's like this new metal deathcore with like System of a Down sprinkled in there, and I'm just like, you guys are creating so much of an experimental world for all of us that like I love it. Like no one can be like, that's not deathcore. Like who the hell cares? If it's a good song, it's a song, you know.
Right.
It could be deathcore, post-hardcore, metalcore. Like it'd be like 3 genres in one. Like it's like, and you got, you know, Sleep Token, who's just like, let's just smear every genre together.
Yeah. Let's just make making metal music.
Dude, and it's working, you know. It's like, so no one can literally say like, oh, you have to be a successful deathcore band, you can only scream, you know. It's like, experiment, like do what you think is gonna be like listenable, you know. So that's what's cool, I think, is like a lot of singing and heavier stuff lately.
Wasn't Of Sulfur supposed to be on that As I Dying tour? Just got
The Europe one, or
insanely canceled.
yeah. Yeah. I saw a TikTok, and it was like this dude was sitting in the car like listening to an As I Lay Dying song, and the days of the week were flying by. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And every time a day would pass by, an instrument would leave the song. And so like at the very end, it was just vocals.
Oh no.
No drums, no guitar. I was like this.
It's such a bummer situation, but there's been some really funny memes that have come out of it. My favorite is the promo picture, and it's just Tim's head on everyone's body.
I found that on Facebook. Someone had put it on in some group, and I freaking just quickly was just like, I gotta put this on my page. This is too good. It was a good Photoshop too. Like someone
Yeah, it was
didn't like
solid.
cover their heads with his. You know, they really worked at that.
Oh, man.
And sometimes it's like fast. Like I was like, I just heard of it, and there's already memes. Like you guys are quick with it, you know. But
The internet is unbeaten, dude.
That's what it's like. I think I'm somewhat funny, but like my followers are funny, dude. Their comments, I live for them. Like I know I'll post like, you know, controversial stuff, and I'm just like, I can't wait to look at my phone on my break. Like the comments are probably like nuts,
Dude.
I feel like I'm newer to like the comment, like looking for the comment section right away. Like
It's the first thing I look at now.
dude. It's just like jokes I've never even like could never think of. I'm like, it's just, sometimes I'll even like pin them to the top of the, like, so everyone sees it. I'm like, this comment wins.
Yeah.
Everyone must see this now.
Oh, dude. I was thinking about yeah.
Stuff that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Afterwards.
The amount of things that we talk about like pre or post show that just don't make it on the podcast that's a whole show in and of itself that is just unreal.
Cancel show.
Yeah. Canceled the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Let's do a quick little
Mental health check.
mental health check, and we can pick some songs. Mental health check is where we like to check in weekly, see where we're at mentally, where things are going well, what's going on in our life that's keeping us in a good place, or if things aren't going so well, what's going on in our life that is keeping us in a funk. So, Jay?
I'm gonna start.
Yeah, start us off,
Go.
man. Where you at?
I'm doing good mentally. I have so much to like accomplish in such a small amount of time. I'm like nervous and excited, but also like super stressed because I know how much my band's counting on me for like these songs, you know. And that's kind of like all I can think about. My job, my everyday job, is pretty simple. Like I work at a skate shop, so I just kind of like make customers happy and help them dress up in new clothes and leave like super stoked. So that's always good. But it's like when I clock out, I'm like, all right, it's time to get down to business, you know. So right now it's kind of weird. Like I'm good mentally, but also like in the process of writing an album, and the album that like the songs that I'm used to writing, it's like not happy stuff, you know. It's like when you're writing about sad stuff, like you have to like kind of dig back into those memories again and kind of like reopen up those scars and be like, all right, like I have to think about this to get this song like across, you know. So those are always like hard for me to kind of like step into those songs. And then I have like my fantasy kind of songs where it's like horror based, it's just like a story. That's always like a break. Like I'll be like, all right, I'm too sad off of this, I'm gonna switch over to murdering people now. So right now it's like it's good. Like I'm really happy, I'm really excited to get these new songs like done, because I can already sense how people are gonna like feel them like live.
Nice.
So I'm just like very nervous, but life rocks right now.
Good, man. Love that. Michael, where you at?
I'm good, man. I'm stoked for things to come with Torture Culture. Actually, when this episode drops, so if you guys are listening to this Friday morning, Friday night, Torture Culture, Reminitions, Destruction of a King, over in Corona, so fucking come hang out. But I feel like
this shows you guys playing Corona, not Chain.
Yeah, it got moved to DBZ.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's why I was saying we'll see what that venue really like looks and sounds like, because the show, I guess Chain double booked.
Okay, cool.
So closer to home.
Close.
Well, less excuses in Corona. Not for Mike, but
Closer, yeah. Oh, for me, Corona.
I know I sent Mike a picture of a Daily Brew cup the other day, the coffee shop he used to work at, and he let it slip too. He's like, "Fuck, the coffee sucks out here." I was like, "Hey man, you can always come home."
The other sucks is that my drink, specifically at the Daily Brew, is just so fucking
It's just
good.
killer.
I ruined it for myself. I shouldn't have made my drink too good. So then I left, and now, yeah.
Regret.
Yeah, dude. No.
Oh yeah, so but as far as Torture Culture goes, I think it's cool because when the band started, and we've been through like a weird little roller coaster over the past couple of years, but when the band started, it was more of a straight hardcore band, and I've always been like you know, lean more into the metalcore stuff, more into just like metal in general. So now releasing Breaker a couple months ago, just that single was kind of like a hint at the direction that we're going in.
Okay.
And I've just been like, I work from home now, and I'm probably outing myself on this podcast, but like when I have downtime, I'm pretty much just writing. And so I'm like writing a bunch of shit and like sending it off to the guys.
He's just a riffer, dude.
Yeah, that's so good. It's like sometimes you get in this like funk, like writer's block. You're just like, bro, what comes after this? You know. And luckily, like people like you, where it's just like Michael, like he's just like, here's another song, and I'm like, sick. I'm gonna start listening to it, and then I'm like barely starting to get like used to it. And he's like, all right, here's another one. I'm like, okay, just kind of set it aside. Here's 3 more. I'm like, dude, seriously, I'm like still working on this one, like, you know, like, but I'm like, keep going.
Sometimes though, cause like this like at least for me, like I've run into that too. I'm like, man, I'm still working on this. Then I'll get like, you know, a couple songs sent in, but then like they'll send one, and I'm like, dude, lightning bolt to that song. I write that song, then it gets me back into it, and then I'm able to go back and finish the other ones.
Oh man, dude, sometimes I'll stare at the same page and just like, man, this is not the best me.
Yeah,
you know, I'll write a full song, and I'm like, all right, now it's time to bring it to the song, and I'm like, none of this fits, nothing feels right. And then I'll like start from scratch again, and then it'll just be like a lighting, like, dude, what? And then like sometimes I'll like think of stuff at work that's just like lightning. I'm like, oh my god! I'll sprint to a piece of paper. I'm like, bro, this is the seed that I needed that now is gonna help me just feel everything. Because sometimes you don't like, you'll write the song and you'll get to this point where you're like, what comes next? Like, what do I say? Like, I kind of feel like I said everything I needed to say, you know, and then like it won't come to you till like 3 days later. That's what I need to learn is I need to like jump to a different song maybe. Stop like obsessing over this one. I'll be like, I know I'm a good songwriter, but it's just like nothing's coming to me. It doesn't need to come to me that day. Like I keep forcing it. I'm like, so I need to start like spread it out.
Go somewhere else. You don't know what'll get you like, you know, get that going again.
And sometimes it's like a song. Like sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio or something. It'll be like some specific line, and I'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. What did he just say? And then I'll be like, okay, like that's actually, let me just start writing about, because it's almost like even like a do you write about like one moment, or do you write about like like those moments happening like over and over again, and like how frustrated you are that you like still writing about the same thing? So it's like sometimes my songs evolve. Like they'll be like, this is just me upset, and then like, oh no, like this is how I've felt like for years, and this is like years of torment, years of misery, and I just like just keep it like so loaded, you know. So I just like, I don't want to just write a song in one day. Sometimes it's better if I kind of spread it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. But what I was saying with the torture culture stuff, now that I'm playing guitar again and writing, it's helping a lot with the songwriting process, because as I'm writing, I can go, wait, vocally I want to do this, so I should extend this part. Or it would be cool to like put a break right here, like have the music cut, do some sort of sick one-liner that I'm going to rewrite 18 times because I'm not confident in it. And then I'm going to, you know, move. So this is for the first time playing in bands where I feel like, okay, the product that's going to come out of this is probably something that's the most genuine to what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
And then like, I'll take that, send it to the guys, and then like Dan will come back with, oh, what if we did this? Or, you know, Ty will be like, that's sick, and then that's pretty much all he's doing. You know, or Travis will have some input or whatever. So it's been cool to like kind of push like push comfort zones a little bit too. Like even with Steve, I'm like, hey bud, sorry, I put like a blast beat in this for a really long time. You know, so, and he'll just be like, that's fucking sick. We'll figure it out, we'll run it. So yeah, that's been cool. And then I've just been hammering in guitar mode because I kind of shit the bed with our skate punk band. Not really shit the bed, but I had a few moments where I was like, oh fuck. Probably part of it was because I was high. The other part of it was just it was hot outside, and I was But
outdoor shows.
We played in a skate park at like 93-degree weather or something like that. So it was a little rough.
Lord.
1:30 in the afternoon.
But I don't think, other than people in our band, nobody else would have really noticed that I fucked up. But I know I did, so I've just been beating myself up about it. Yeah, other than that, everything's been sick. Can't complain. Yeah, Mike?
I'm in a good place, I think. No, I feel like I finally I'm like getting settled in to work, and then this Friday will finally be like my first like real check. As far as like, you know, I came in like, you know, a couple days into the pay cycle. Yeah, the last one.
You got to eat again.
Yeah. Dude, today I busted out. I was like, you guys want to go to Taco Bell? Because I have like a Taco Bell gift card. I was like, please, want to go to Taco Bell? Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I should be like more stressed financially, but I'm kind of like, I'm not. I know it's gonna be fine.
It'll work out.
Yeah. Work's been going well. I'm getting better at it. I work with children with autism, and I think I'm getting better at it. I don't know how they feel, but
you're just starting to realize all the similarities that you have with these kids.
Dude, well, you know what's funny is I'm in a room full of first graders, and I'm just like, which one was I? You know what I mean? I'm like, which one of these little weirdos was I, dude? Like, cause, dude, they're so. And I look at them and I'm like, yeah, that's totally me, like completely me. Where it's like, teacher made an announcement to like, you know, have them bring out your whiteboards to write on, and there's the one kid who's just like sitting at his desk, like looking at something, like hasn't done anything. Like teacher's like, you know, found out. Like, what are you doing? He's like, like look around you. You don't see everyone else with their stuff out. And he's like, oh, like that was me, dude.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
for sure me. So that's been fun. I like that I can, feel smart on these little first days. What do you need help with? No. Yeah, I think I'm doing well. I'm in a good place. I've been able to, before I was living in LA, I was commuting for a little bit, for a couple months from Riverside to LA every morning. And it's a shitty commute, but it was rad because I was like singing every day in my car. And so I felt like my voice getting like stronger and stuff. And so now with my new job, it's mile wise, it's like not very long, but it's like anywhere from like,
It's LA.
yeah, anywhere from like a half hour to an hour drive. So I'm back to singing a lot, which is awesome. So my voice feels really good. But and singing for me, that's like a huge like puts me in a good place. So
You sing your own stuff, or do you?
no, I sing lately because I'm recording on Thursday, so I have been doing my own stuff. But I also have like a karaoke mix that I like I put on. So
Do you do karaoke?
dude, I love karaoke.
I know some people that freaking hella do karaoke like all the time, and I'm just like, dude, it's like the third night in a row that you're going to karaoke.
Dude,
I'm like, who is it? Just you and the DJ guy? Like,
Dude, we used to like have like we used to know like a couple karaoke DJs for a while where we'd free like okay, Tuesday's here, Thursday's there, Saturday's there. We don't do as much as we like used to and stuff, but I love it. But I just like to have it just so that it's something to practice.
yeah, 100%.
Because otherwise I would get tired of our own stuff.
He needs to take a little break from the last karaoke spot that we went to because
I had my birthday there. Dove into some bushes. But. So, or like we should probably. I probably need to lay low from this place for a
he
minute.
got horizontal over the bushes. Just
Did it for Jesse for some apparently. Apparently.
I don't want to corrupt Jesse.
Yeah. But I'll say I'm in a good place. I think.
hell yeah.
You should start screaming when you do karaoke, bro. That goes viral. It does every
Does
time.
it?
Yeah, I see people are like screaming in karaoke. They're like, they're doing that at a bar. That's so brave. You know?
Oh, I get. I'm sure people are like, "That's so brave," or "That's something else." Because I cover. I'll sing karaoke. Just a Girl, No Doubt.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude.
And so that usually gets a response.
I'm a big No
response.
Doubt fan
A
for sure. I know No Doubt's sick.
Dude, they're doing a Gwen Stefani record release party at DBZ.
Oh, that's random.
A month after we play there or something like that.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Condor's putting on Gwen Stefani's CD release party over there.
In Pomona?
No, in Corona. Not DBA.
Oh, I'm like,
DBZ where we're playing Friday.
oh, cool.
That's random.
Yeah. Real random. I saw the flyer. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
You think she's gonna be there? Or you think you're just releasing her CD?
I don't
there?
know. I would assume.
Well, I mean, she's from Orange County.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
assume. I'm pretty sure it's at DBZ. Let me double check. Let me not be a liar.
My I still still jealous of my brother. My brother, when he was in high school in '96, I think it was, they had grad night at Disneyland, and it was back when they would have like bands play, and No Doubt played.
What the?
And there was like not a lot of people watching.
Yeah. How
Gwen
random.
Stefani release party. At DBZ.
Fuck yeah, dude. Corona?
What? That's crazy. She probably lives local. Maybe that's probably why.
Maybe.
It's just such a random city.
It's a release party, and it's free if you purchase the album.
Interesting. Have you seen Heather?
Lil Chris's band is playing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Have you seen did Heather Perez ever bring her yearbook? That like her. Was it Heather Perez? I think it's Heather Perez. Or like it's her uncle's yearbook, and it's like with the year that Gwen Stefani was in school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Weird flex.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's add some jams to our playlist. So, I should pick one reminiscence song to add, and then one random song you've been jamming lately. No genre restrictions. No nothing. Just whatever you want to add. we've got everything from musicals on there to like synthwave shit to
Okay.
to whatever you want.
Let's just go with Unholy for Reminitions. And then is Crossfade Cold on there?
I think I don't know. I
It
think
should
Jesse.
be.
I think Jesse added
Jesse
it.
throw that one on there already.
Let's see.
You gotta come around more often.
It is on the playlist already.
Okay. Okay.
So far away is
Let's see. Let's randomly put Lenny Kravitz on there.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Which song?
Is it Fly? Or what is it? It's no, is it
He had two. He had
What's that?
Fly Away and Fly.
Fly Away? That's the one. That famous nose ring of his.
Remember, I was always like, why can I always see his bottom two abs? Like, why does he always just have a little midriff showing? Oh man. You got a song, Mike?
I was trying to find it. It's such a weird. This is gonna be really random, but IE-ban. It's on some Mantis.
Okay.
Acts of Redemption.
Sick. I'm gonna add on this band I found from Connecticut called Dreamwake. Have you heard? Have you heard
God,
Dreamwake?
dude.
They're like synth wavy
So
hardcore
good,
shit.
dude.
They have a fucking saxophone. I don't know if he just plays saxophone or if it's like a guitar player that just grabs a saxophone. I don't know.
Whatever it
They
is,
fucking-
dude. It's so
it's
good.
wild.
It's so good. There's like the whole synthwave genre has just been exploding lately. Like I can't even, like, there's this one band, God, their song's called like Dead Dreams. I can't even think of the name, but it's like the same vibe. So I was just like, I just want to live in this little realm for like a little bit. 'Cause it just sounds different, and the singing's so catchy.
And the guitar work is just so technical and like but funky at the same time.
Yeah,
It's rad.
and he does like a lot of like that guitarist, I think, does like a lot of like producing and writing too for like other artists and stuff, because he's just so good. Like
Yeah.
I'm assuming people are just like, because I feel like one of my guitarists, Steven's like working with him right now to get his songs like more structured, and he's my guitarist Steven too. He's so smart, because he'll kind of like he'll take a band like Dreamwake and he'll try to dissect it and create like the same version of it with his guitar and his sounds, and then he'll like memorize that kind of technique and then just do his own version of it.
Yeah.
But he's just like, how do I do this? How do I break this apart? And he's been really into that sound. And so I'm assuming, because he has another band that he works on that's more like metalcore than Reminitions, and I'm already like super excited about it because it has like that synthwave vibe. And I'm just like, man, like I can't wait till you find a singer. And he wants me to kind of like sing, because it's like maybe like studio only. And I'm like, I'd feel more comfortable doing studio singing than live singing. I'm just so, if my voice cracks, I'm gonna whip myself 5 times after the show. Like that cannot happen.
And,
Like,
and if that happens, I'm in my head for the rest of the show.
dude,
like
for real, just, and almost I feel like I'm just tightened up my throat even more. I'm like, I don't want to anymore. And it's just one of those new genres though that I found that I was just like, where's this been? And that saxophone caught me off guard, dude.
Don't even forget. I'll play you guys something. I can't. I don't think he'll care. It's just like a buddy of mine, who, like, I had no idea he even like did any music at all, and then one day he just like hit me with like, "Hey man, like, I'm recording some songs." I was like, "Oh, what?" Played it for me, and I was just like, Have you written anything before?" He's like, "No, that's the first thing I've ever written." I was like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah, no,
Like,
dude.
who is this? Is this who I think it is?
I don't
Do I
know.
know this person?
You might. He's such a rad dude, and like, it's just like one of those things where it's like, of course you sound like this. Like, of course you sound cool. I'll show you guys a song, because like you guys talking about, like, it's almost like it's like kind of like new wavy to me, but like cool, like throwback sound, but it's very, like, I don't know, I'll show it to you guys next time.
So,
We got that what's that band? Speed. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
They got that it's like a flute.
The flute, dude. That's
What's
dude.
next? You got the gong and Kublai Khan. Like,
one thing that like everybody loves the flute in that song, but I love the record scratch.
yeah.
And then they do the speed chant right after. I'm like, the fuck is this? This is so sick.
That band, dude.
I just need to find a new instrument. I'm gonna do that one where it's just like the rivets and you just run the. You know.
I had an option in not even high school, like elementary, where it's like I was playing school band, and all my friends were like doing trumpet or drums, and then my mom was like, "I have a clarinet and I have a flute." I was like,
Come on, not even a tuba, mom.
and so I was like, "Oh, at least it's black." I was like, "I'll do the clarinet." I'll do the clarinet.
The things you put in your mouth. Well, on that note,
Well, send us something, Mike.
dude, thank you so much for coming, man, and
Yeah,
for
dude.
making the drive. Thank you for rolling with him, so they didn't have to do this drive alone. Yeah, dude, I'm stoked for this weekend. It's gonna be rad. I'm stoked for the shows you guys have coming up after that too. It's gonna be a cool little run.
For real. I think the Vegas one is gonna be like the peak, I think, because I missed out on the last Vegas one that Reminitions did. I had a fill-in because it was a run that we did with Salt Wound, and I had to work, unfortunately, on like one of the 3 days. So from like LA, everyone left to drive to Vegas, and I literally got off of work, drove to LA, and then drove back home to work like the next day.
Man.
And I see footage of the show, and it was just like the most jealous I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
Reminitions is standing in front of an empty pool on top, and the whole empty pool's filled with people, and they're just like head banging and just like, you could tell they don't know any words, they don't know who we are or anything like that, and you could just, I was just like, what a dream. What is that? I've never played like in a like to an empty pool of people that are just like and then they were all kind of like holding each other's shoulders and all headbanging like in a line. And I'm just like, dude, like I'm at work ringing people up for clothes. And you guys are in Vegas playing the sickest show that we probably ever played. I'm not there. And it's just like one of our friends like performing for us, you know. And
That moment hurts. Huh?
yeah.
We're in Vegas. Are you guys on this one?
It's the address. That's the cool part. It's just all that is just an address on the flyer. So I'm assuming it's going to be popping. I'm thinking it's the same place.
Good place.
It's by this promotional company, Uprising. I think their handle's like "fuck Uprising" or something like that. It's like really cool. But
Sick.
yeah. But I feel like it's the same people that threw that last one, because I remember after I saw that footage, I like messaged the promoter and I was like, "We'll be back. Just make sure we'll be back, but with me." So I'm hoping that's my redemption.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you want to plug any socials, any of that jazz before we get out of here?
For sure. So I'm Breakdown King on Instagram, on TikTok as well, and then Reminitions is on everything: Facebook, Instagram, X, which is Twitter, stupidly now. The Breakdown King TikTok is technically the Reminitions TikTok as well, but just follow us on there, and we're gonna be dropping some new stuff like very soon. Even though we just dropped our EP like 3 days ago, we have something we've been kind of like holding back to kind of be a placeholder in between the next full length, just to give us some time. So we're planning on dropping like 2 things at the same time. That's going to be like really cool. And I haven't really told anybody like yet, but I'll tell you guys so we can make this podcast a little special. But I'm planning on doing a 13 Ghosts song with 12 other vocalists, and it's a mission to attempt to do, because it's just like, all right, here's your 6 seconds, go ham. Here's your 6 seconds, here's your 8 seconds, and it's something that we'll probably have to perform at one point, so that's going to be fun to kind of figure that out. But each vocalist has their own ghost that they're assigned to, and so we're going to do like a little 13 Ghost song, so I'm really hyped for that.
Love that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Love
that's
that movie. That movie fucked me up when I was younger.
is creepy.
I need those glasses. No, I don't.
Yeah, for real. For real. And then the chick in it too. You're just like, you're hot, but you're also scary.
Yeah,
You're
you're
dead,
terrifying.
but you're hot.
Terrifying.
I'm
Hell
scared.
yeah.
I have a scared
That's
boner
sick.
right now.
Dude, the best part about that is Mike Perez doesn't fuck with the scary stuff.
No?
He's
I've seen a couple of them because of peer pressure and just because like everyone in my band loves it. Like I saw the Conjuring movies.
Oh, that's not even an easy one
Yeah.
though.
Dude.
Like those are very
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
based on true stories.
fuck.
yeah. I know those based on true stories fuck me up.
I saw Insidious,
Oh, they're showing you good ones.
which played on like almost all my fears. It was only missing like a shark
Oh, it
and then like an earthquake or something.
was all your fears.
All my
wrapped in one.
fears, dude. I was just like, what is this movie? Yeah, I've seen a lot of them.
I'd like to see you at Universal Horror Nights.
That's like fun for me though.
Okay,
Like
okay.
that's like, cause that's like fun. It's like, I don't know. I think also too, cause it's like, it's different from watching it and being helpless. Like, don't do that, you know?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, look behind you, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like, at least in person, I feel like, I don't know, I can at least like swing back. You know what I mean? Like,
I could defend myself.
yeah, but it's
I
that's like
hate
fun.
this conversation. We tried to get you to go for so many years, and then you get a wife, and all of a sudden it's cool to go.
What do you mean? You guys never invited me to horror nights or anything like that?
We're at Walking Blind Pod everywhere. WalkingBlindPod@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.